What up, fam? Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Trying to go for 2 in a row talk. Let's go. Let's go. This ain't the fuck like Austin Stinker, he stinks.
Oh shit!
It's gone.
Here, and you're listening to Agree to Disagree, the flagship, only on A2D Radio. Uncle Sweeps, Nick Delgazzo, the legendary Brian Wilson, and the fucking man himself, Tom Arnone. These three guys from Jersey bringing you real talk with no agenda. You don't like them? Tough shit. It's their show, and they're going to say whatever the hell they goddamn want.
Welcome in, everybody. This is Agree to Disagree, only on A2D Radio. Every Sunday, we are brought to you by our doc. Got to make him yours, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, locations in Burlington and Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can find them right on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com, and on all your social media platforms. Greg Moniak, Nick Delgazzo, Brian Wilson. I'm Tom Arnone. The family out there. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. We'll do Crumb of the Week at the end of the show. Phillies opening day. It's coming up, baby. It's coming up. Next week, we're here. Baseball's back. We know we got a fantasy draft tonight, a little A2D fantasy draft going off at 10. So baseball is officially back. Excited. The Phillies seem to be back. So we'll talk some Phillies towards the end of the show. And we'll have NBA playoff preview. And our main topic at hand is going to be Sixers Cav live reaction. Sixers up 1 right now. Just started the fourth.
Yep.
And ties into our poll question brought to you by Manscaped. And you can get 20% off and free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. It's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. Go use our promo code A2D at manscaped.com. 20% off and free shipping. You saw it. The ball deodorant, the weed whacker, the lawnmower, the body wash. We can't show you some of these other things, but they got everything. Cologne.
All their products are good. I'll tell you right now. Every one of their products.
I got the lip balm.
I would let you know. I'm a non-bullshit guy. All their product is good. Everyone.
I'm not a lip balm guy, but if I was a bomber, I would go. That sounded wrong.
I am a lip balm guy, and I have not tried that yet, but that might be next on the docket.
Who told you to put the bomb on? Did I tell you to put the bomb on?
Our poll question, and we'll give you live reactions towards the end of this game and a little post game before we get into Phillies. But our poll question is: the Sixers will end their regular season going 5-0. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the follow. Stick around for a while. And on the podcast side, we love reviews. Love a good 5-star and big fans of downloads. So do it. I disagree because there'll be a game, throughout these last 5 they might not play, guys. So
there's two. Is there 2 back-to-backs, or we definitely end back-to-back, right? Saturday, Sunday.
Are we playing any good teams?
No,
Toronto.
Not really.
Agree.
Not really.
Agree.
Toronto's our next game.
Indiana, Toronto.
You're agreeing to 5-0?
If we're not playing anybody, yeah, absolutely.
Got to win today first.
Completely swung over to Greg. Greg is absolutely fucking poisoned, man, and rightfully so. Good job, Greg. I mean, it's I don't blame you, buddy. I mean, you know what I mean. I'm just, I reached my point, so I'm not gonna not watch like you. I'm gonna be jazzed.
My question is, what point
in game one? Because it's the same shit, but it's the same fucking story. So we'll see. I mean, that's all.
No, I'm not mad at you.
I'm not mad at you. It's just I
mean, I got to understand why guys could be out before the post.
I was hoping maybe a handful of games. I was, hey, listen, but it's, we are who we are now. So, and I mean, it ain't going to change when the fucking lights go on.
I mean, yeah, we stink.
You know what I mean?
But I'm praying.
You want to watch?
I'm hanging on a prayer here.
Watch.
I get you guys are watching, and I get that.
Living on a prayer over here.
I understand.
Like Bon Jovi.
I understand that there would be a majority of the fan base that
good shot by James there.
That feels like they're not good enough, right? And I understand that. Like, I get it. My point is, I'm not disagreeing with you guys on your stances of it. I'm just saying I'll be right with you real soon if that's the case, right? Like, if they get bounced in the second round, hey, I'm right. I'm listen. It might be Wills, but at the end of the day, we got to see it again, right? We got to see it. So hey, maybe they get over their hump. I'd
be more shocked if they got out of the second round at this point.
I'm just gonna hold out hope that they can, right? Like, I'm just gonna continue to try to hold out that hope that, hey, it's a better basketball team now, right? Joel Embiid.
We play no defense though. Even the Cavs right now just missing wide open shots. We play no defense.
We play great defense in years past. So one doesn't always equal two when it comes to this. That's all my point is. Like, I don't know what their end result's going to be. I really don't. I think their max is like an Eastern Conference Finals appearance. I do. Appearance. That's their max, and some things would have to probably go right for them there. But last year we thought we were unbeatable at this time. So I mean, I don't know. I know we made an addition, and that addition is also our point guard. That addition has been Uncle Evan Flo. And more Evan than Flo, all right? And I don't know what he is at this point, all right? But I also know we're a bunch of guys, too, still trying to work out some of their kinks together, right? And that's just fair. Now, by the time playoffs start, there's no excuses for me. You know what I mean? You have this, like, little whatever, 20 games together, and you guys got to figure it out. And you got to be ready to go. So I don't know if they're going to be ready to go. I don't know if they're going to get bounced in the first round, second round. I honestly, for the first time, can't stand on the island all by myself and say they're definitely doing something. I just think they're better. I think they're better than we think they are, though, too. Like, I understand there's been games, but you talk about the Suns game. Okay, we didn't close that game out, whatever, but we were still in that game. Okay, and then I look at Danny, and then I look Danny Meatloaf, and then I look at the Bucks game, and I say, hey, I hate blowing a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. And like Sweet's saying, it's the same stuff, rightfully so, right? I hate blowing that, but then it's a 2-point game, and Joel is a dunk away from who knows what happened. So I feel like I'm right with these teams.
Yeah, dunk the basketball. I agree with you there.
We might not be good enough, but I feel like we're right fucking there, and we can actually say, like, we're right here for the first time. Maybe since 2019 when we felt like we were really good too, right? When we got Jimmy and Tobias, and that year we felt like we were really good. We had JJ, and that year we were really good, and we were a bounce away from who knows what.
Well, we have Harden, who stinks. That's the only thing, though.
Listen, I don't know if
he stinks, Tom.
I'm on the fence with him, Wills. What do you want me to tell you? I'm on the fence.
You shouldn't be on the fence. You've watched basketball in your life. You shouldn't be on the fence. He fucking stinks. I don't care. He's a pretty good facilitator, but he's too slow. He can't run a fast break. We're slow as fuck down the floor. He plays no defense. He takes terrible shots down the stretch of games. Turns the ball over too much. Fucking stinks. Bottom line.
All right, stinks is the guy we just got rid of. So I don't know if he stinks. I just don't know if he just might not be the same player he was.
Oh, he's definitely not.
Yeah, he's not.
But he still can be. He still can be better than what we had running around out there. Because I look at the other.
He's gonna go fucking 3 for 19 in Game 6 of the second round, and we're gonna lose. Then we're gonna lose.
And he might be. He might. Okay, but I don't think
I'm just holding out hope that maybe they throw the ball to Joel every play.
Well,
can we throw the ball to Joel every play?
I just don't believe he has 19 shots a game because of who he's playing with. So if he doesn't, yesterday is a perfect example of what I want him to be. I know it was 4 for 10. I know it wasn't a great stat line, but it's the 12 assists. It's the getting other guys involved like Tobias and Maxey, right? I just need you to be a great distributor because you still are a threat. The other guy was never going to be a threat. So I feel like I'm in a better position than I was last year because that guy was never going to be a threat. So at least I have spacing. Now I'm not good enough defensively, but I still.
Why do we keep bringing Ben up? Who cares? He's gone.
I'm comparing one year to the next, Will. How I think we're better.
Okay, all right, I got you, but I'm saying I don't even understand why bring him up.
I'm not bringing him up.
I understand what you're saying about Harden.
Sorry, I brought up your son, but I'm making a point that do we not feel like we're?
I get you about Harden. Yeah, we're better, but we're not good though. Are we better? Sure. Are we good? No.
Not good.
That's the whole thing.
Not good's like a play-in to me. Like not good.
We're not good, dude. We're not good.
So we're a playing game.
I don't mean it like not good. Like listen, Joel's fucking amazing. Okay, anyone with eyes knows Joel's amazing. But the rest of our team is not very good. I like Tyrese. I like Toby. I don't like Harden. I like Matisse defensively. But we have no bench, and Harden's going to take bad shots. I know it.
So they're an 8 together then. They're an 8 seed together is what you're telling me.
No. I don't mean that.
Not a good team.
I'm not saying first off, the teams that are 8 seeds stink, except for Brooklyn because they've been hurt all year. But the teams that are like 8 seeds, they stink. We're like the 4th right now. We're not very good. The first 2 seeds are good in the East. That's about it. And Boston's, I don't know what Boston is, honestly. I think we can beat Boston.
So a game ahead of you is that much better in your eyes?
No, I just think that Milwaukee is good. I think
Milwaukee's good too.
It's a fair, yeah. I mean,
I say we're not good like Milwaukee, in my opinion.
That's a different thing. You said we're not good. So that would equal
that's a fair bounce back. I would just say, like, I use my eyes. I know what you're saying. I use my eyes. We haven't beat anybody. All right. Yeah. So it's not a case of the schedule like the Eagles down the stretch or the Phillies down the stretch. I know it's an 82 game season. Well, it's been a month and a half. We haven't beat anybody. All right. And we lost to the Pistons. So I mean, I don't know how you win in the playoffs. I don't know that. I know. It would be a fucking shock to me. So like I said, I'm hoping.
Yeah, I
am hoping. I'm hoping.
I want to make it clear. I agree with these statements. So I do watch it with my eyes because again, I'm trying to be objective as much as I can to it. And they haven't looked great. But then there's other nights where they come out and they're moving the basketball around. They're making the extra pass and they're doing the things that you need to do offensively to not get stagnant because they have a lot of guys who can score. That's the problem. So when you have a lot of guys that can score that also need the basketball, it even makes more of an onus. You have to put more of an onus on them move the basketball. So when nights where,
like I said, I was more disagreeing. Like I think you can be 4, 5, and 6 and not be a good basketball team.
Yeah, thank you.
As opposed to 8, 9, and 10, where it's just because they're letting participation ribbons get in. They're down at the bottom. You know what I mean? Like that's what David Stern does. They're global. So that's a little. Let's make it exciting for the casual morons. You know what I mean? So let's have a playing game. It's the fucking stupidest thing I've ever seen. So like 8, 9, and 10, that's tomato can soup. You know what I mean? 4, 5, and 6. And you could be, you could be there, and this is not a shot at you, and not be very good. You know what I mean? Or not have the capability to win it all. All right. I look at it like, and we've said this from day one. That's our biggest thing is listen. If we were going to do this, we didn't want to waste, an MVP season. We had no choice. Listen, I'm for it. We had to do it. Once it was the 11th hour, we had no choice. All right. So we're playing with the hand we were dealt. All right. But, I mean, like, I don't care about getting out of the second round. Like, to me, it's like, are we good enough to win it all? And we're not. You know what I mean? We can't even get out of the East, So, it's like, I get that. So a lot of teams, could also say that. I just, I don't know if we can, flick that switch. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I don't see enough heart, enough character, enough grit. You know what I mean? And that's and I've said that for a month, and I think we all have. I didn't make that up, but we're just not tough enough. You know what I mean? Like we're missing those key, we're missing those 1 or 2 key, tough guys that float around the NBA. I understand they're under contract, you know what I mean? But you got to go out and find your own tough guys. You know what I mean? Like, JoJo plays tough. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. His game is, but just the air and the. I don't know. It's not a tough basketball team, both mentally and physically. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. And I think. Sorry, Tom. Real quick.
They played like what 16 games together. So I just look at like when you add a piece like that I understand is going to be a little evident and a little flow to how they all look together and why it doesn't at times look like okay. To your guys' point, like hey, maybe not a good basketball team, and then other times it looks like that. So like I've been saying this whole time, like I don't know who they are. I'll continue to say I don't know who they are because there's nights I see a really good basketball team or a team with potential to be a really good basketball team. And then there's other nights through this 15 games, whatever it's been so far. And then there's other nights where I'm like, oh my God, dude, are we good enough? Right? Like, are we good enough? Like, then I'm questioning, can Harden even play anymore? Like, straight up, not trying to be a dick. Like, can he even play anymore? I've questioned that off air plenty of times. So I'm just seeing other times, like yesterday, we're playing nobody. But
I think that's why it comes
rebound,
dude. Why it comes.
What the fuck are we doing?
I think that's why it comes full circle, right? Because exactly what you said is 100% spot on, and it leads back to Wilson, right? Because if you have no identity, then you're not any good. You know what I mean? Like,
to me, everything's hard.
I mean, like,
everything's tough for us.
You know, you don't know what you're going to get.
You know?
So if you're Heckle and Jekyll, if you don't have an identity, you know, if you got a bad coach, which, you know, I don't like that. So, I mean, I'm sure, and people say, well, who you replace him with? I get that. I don't know. All right. But, you know, I'm not a Doc fan, never have.
Jay Wright.
You know what I mean?
Jay Wright.
That's like the play.
Jay Wright.
That last
play, give him Pennsylvania. We'll give him the whole state.
Well, that's the play. That's the last play is the play I'm talking about. Like to be that kind of distributor, be able to get through the paint and make plays like that. Like I don't care if you're 4 for 10 because I got enough other guys who can also score. Right? I don't want you to be 4 for 10 all throughout the playoffs. But if you're 4 for 10 with 13 and 8, I'm not calling you. I'm not like saying it's like a Ben stat line, but you can stretch the floor. You still are respected. So I understand he hasn't lived up to our expectations throughout this whole little run, this little tiny run here. But my point is like, you don't have identity now, right? Sweeps, fine. I still think there's an identity to maybe find. And that's why it was so important for him to play as soon as the trade happened, because we can't wait any longer. These guys got to play together a little bit. Like, and I'm not saying that's not a cop out. Like I said, they got to play at least 20 games, and that's where they're going to be. They're going to be right around 20-piece nugget. And I feel like that's enough games to say, hey, there ain't no fucking excuses now, because you should be able to find yourself some sort of identity.
How is there an excuse from this point to then, though, Tom? Like, you know what I mean? At this point, they played together enough at this point. I hear you.
No, right now,
the 20 is a nice number, but, I mean, it's not like they're going to be all of a sudden they're going to be different. Like, if you just look at it from a basketball perspective, okay? Like, we get easy buckets with Joel all the time, which is great. Everything else for us is hard. We're not good in transition. We're terrible in transition defense. To me, we just don't have the makeup of a very good team. We need more shooting. We need a better bench. I'm okay with Harden if he's just going to be a distributor and not shoot as much, but he's still going to shoot 15 times a game, guaranteed. I like your 10 shot theory, but that's great in theory. He's going to shoot more than that. And I don't know. I just think they're not ready yet. Like Tyrese is a good player, but he's not ready yet. And then they need other pieces. They need better bench pieces for moving forward.
They are inconsistent.
I'm rooting for them. I just don't think they're going to be there yet.
You know what the best thing?
I think they're going to go 4-1 in this last stretch to answer the poll because they're going to lose today.
Good answer. And I'll tell you, I'll tell you this. Like, I think the best.
Just give it to them every time. Every fucking time.
The best thing you can say about this is they're so inconsistent outside of Joel Embiid. He's the one constant. And Greg said it on Wednesday, and I don't agree with Greg often, but like I'm not saying I'm betting on him, but I'm not going to bet against when I got that guy on the court. Like I'm going to feel like I have a chance to win a basketball game, right? And that's all. That's all. Like let's see where the chips fall. Let's see where they fall. You know. And you guys are ahead of me. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I agree with you, buddy. I mean, listen, I'll definitely take my chances, with,
it's inconsistency, though, right?
I definitely take my chances with one of the best players in the league, night in and night out. Excuse me. So I agree with you there. Like I said, it just comes back to always want to be proven wrong and not, going to watch and going to cheer and going to go bananas. Can't wait for it to start, but. I just don't, we just don't, outside of him, we just don't make
one. Let's fucking go.
Outside of him, we just don't make enough winning plays. You know what I mean? And that, in the prime example, I know it ended up in his hands against the Bucks, and we're like, dunk the goddamn ball. You know what I mean? And he's been spectacular all year, so I don't ever fault him. You know what I mean? But I just, what I said in that thread was, on the flip side of it, you know what I mean? Is not to put any blame on Joe. That's a tremendous winning play by Spelling Bee. That's a winning play, right? And that's what I want to see. You know what I mean? Like, the game, especially in the playoffs. You're talking about you alluded to it earlier. Hey, we were in some of these games. You know what I mean? And and obviously you're correct about that. You know what I mean? The difference is we lost the games that we're in. You know what I mean? So now we have to, can we find a way in the playoffs when everything shrinks and it becomes half court offense and it becomes winning time? Can we find a way to can we find a way to close out a game and win tight games?
It's right now it'd be a great one.
Guys can go to the free throw line. You know what I mean? So can we have a lead late? You know what I mean?
Well, that's the funny thing because I think Will's brought up transition, and I get it because we're not like we were in years past, right? But I almost think that bodes well for us come postseason time because we are a more slow it down type of offense now, right? We want to run it through our big man, right? We want to run it through our big man and then through James and then through the other two guys. So need that. Was it foul call? Charge? Is he dead? He's awake. Okay. But
I agree, Tom, because it's more of a half court game. But the biggest issue I have is that nothing besides giving the ball to Joel, nothing comes easy for us.
Well, who doesn't come easy all around the world? Like the league, like
a lot of teams have a lot of easy.
Because all the teams we start to talk about that are really good teams lose basketball games they shouldn't lose. Like the Nets got beat up last night, yesterday against the Hawks. Like that's a game they shouldn't lose. Kyrie and KD are
You're right.
So it's the inconsistencies are all around the fucking league where benches don't come to show.
But they're the eighth seed.
No. I'm not.
I'm not even including that.
Our eyes are so on our team that there's other flaws, and we're right fucking there. Is all my point. We're right there. Right there.
Everyone's got flaws. You're correct.
Yeah, that's why I don't worry about the Pistons. I'm not worried about the Pistons loss, at least for me.
Pistons been playing good game, good ball.
People harp on it. At the top of my list is beating no one. That's at the top of my list. I don't care about the Pistons things because you're right. People have back-to-backs. People have off nights. People lose to fucking teams like that. We know that. We've been watching forever. You know what I mean? Like, more glaring to me is
everyone gets paid. Guys hit shots. Shit happens.
Really haven't beat anybody. That's where that's my concern. You know what I mean? Whether it's valid or not.
We beaten
You're right. You're correct, Sweeps. And all those games were tight, but we came out on the losing end of every one of them. We didn't win any of them. You know what I mean? Like, it was tight. Milwaukee was tight, but we lost. Fucking, who was the other one that we lost that was tight? Denver? Denver was tight, but we lost. There's a bunch of them that were tight, but we haven't got over that hump against a big team, a quote unquote good team.
Well, you're not going to really have that the rest of the way because you're just going to have
they're all tomato cans basically.
I mean, I'll just
Toronto's not bad and usually gives us a good game.
Charlotte was a hot team coming in.
Charlotte's not bad.
They're not good. They're not good.
They're not good. They're not bad.
8-10. So you're getting a team playing good basketball at this time of the year per se, but they're still not any good. And then you look at Toronto. Toronto's winners of 5 in a row. You're going to see them in a couple games, but how good is Toronto? They're well coached. We know this. They're an effort team, but how good are they? So we're not going to be able to see that, to your guys' point, that signature win. By the time the playoffs come, right? The only time we're going to be able to see that signature win is come the playoffs. So I'm just going to hold out hope that we're right there with these teams, and anything can happen in the postseason. If you have arguably the best player on the basketball court, so. When Joe and Giannis go head to head, who's the better basketball player that night per se? Or when, if we got to go against the Nets, right? Is Embiid the best basketball player on the court that night? Can he be? That's what's going to make or break us. And can other guys just do what be good enough? Just be good enough, right? And today's a perfect example. We got nobody shooting well outside of him. So, right? And we're beating a team that's, a playoff team per se. So, it's we need other guys to be consistent. That's the problem. He's been consistent. Nobody else has been consistent. Right? Nobody. I think Tobias 3 for 11 today. But he's had some good games prior to this, right? So it's this. These fucking guys are like this.
Joel's playing amazing today.
They're all fucking like this. And that's the problem. Harden hasn't been like this, right? He hasn't been straight up. He's been turbulence talk, right? Through his time, a little bit of time here.
Yeah, 3 for 12 again tonight.
That's just what he is. I feel like he's gonna lock into a couple games where he shoots 9 and 13. We're like, oh, okay, James had a good game, but he's a 4 for 12 cat. He's a 5 for 19. Volume shooter. By the way, I got money on UConn women. Let's fucking go.
I mean, seriously, if it wasn't for Joe, I can't believe we're winning this game by 6. All right, because to Tom's point, everybody else can't throw it in the fucking ocean. 3 for 12, 4 for 11, 3 for 11.
What you want to do, and the only thing you can see, sweeps and Wills, right? And I know Greg's on the same boat per se. The only thing, and I'm not saying I'm not on. Is he hurt? What are we doing?
Oh God, he's
Just
always on the ground.
Yeah, every time he hits the floor, I'm like, oh.
He landed on that guy's foot there. That's all. I think that's all that was.
But all I can say about him is that I just feel like he gives me a chance to win, and I'll take that at this point. Like, I think this basketball team can have enough scoring at times. Can Harden have a game or two in the playoffs where he does get a little hot, right? And that can help us. So you need certain things. Can Maxey have some big games in the playoffs? Can Tobias have some games where he steps up around Joel doing what Joel does, right? That's the biggest key.
We need Tobias to score.
Yeah, who's going to be option 2 in the crunch time, right? Sweeps, who's going to be the other guy that's fighting this fight with me? Who is it? And that's the biggest question mark when it comes to this basketball team, even though I want to believe in them. But I believe so much in that guy that I'm just fucking praying somebody else has a pulse that night.
Oh, yeah. And when you do have him, it does allow you to kind of pass that baton.
How is he wide the fuck open? Play some defense.
Okay.
Fuck.
Poor Greg hasn't even talked.
No, but when you have Joel, it allows you to potentially pass that baton. As annoying as it is for us fans, right? We don't know who that guy is going to be, right, going into each game. But when you have Joel, you can, hey, James, I need you a game. Tyrese, I need you a game, right? And so it does allow you to kind of pass the ball around, right, a little bit, even though as fans, it doesn't give us anything really to buy into and
yes,
that's hard.
And enjoy watching, right?
Sorry, won the shoot though, Greg. Damn it.
Yeah. Sorry, Greg. I'm not trying to get you off.
No, you're good. I'm obviously behind.
The clock's still running. I'm behind.
We got 2. That's got to be our ball.
It's our ball. 2 seconds to shoot.
That clock ran for an extra second and a half. There we go. A little 2.1. 2.1.
Oh, huge.
Oh, come on. They call foul?
Yeah.
How old are you guys?
Lipped out.
Oh, great foul.
That's a great entry.
How do you
great? Yeah, that's a great pass there.
That was probably the shot 2 minutes ago that Wills yelled about. The marketed 3, Wills.
Yeah, why? Why
in transition?
Open? Come on.
3 guys on the ball, nobody on marketing.
It's all game, Greg. There's wide open threes all game.
Yeah, well,
But like you said, I mean, as we were talking before we, finally let poor Greg talk, halfway in the 0. Like I said, I agree with you. I love, you love to see, in a decisive game or in a swing game, Jimmy Harden to have a 38 burger. You know what I mean? Seven triples. 13 assists or something. You're gonna get 30 out of the big fella. All right, so that's what you're saying. You know what I mean? Can he have spectacular games? We don't need pedestrian games. You know what I mean? Now, if you're going to get people involved, that's great. Those guys got to make shots then too. You know what I mean? Like
Jesus.
if you're going to, it's great to be a facilitator. But if you're one of the big 3, air quote big 3, I know the other guy's just a little pup. He's just a little half pup. You know what I mean? If you're one of the big 2.5, then you got to be, and you got to do it all. You know what I mean? You got to, not only you got to score, then you also got to get your teammates involved, because Joe's going to create for himself. I mean,
it's hard to do it.
We need Harden to create for others,
Harden try to get a jump ball around the dude's back. The fuck are you doing?
Like, you might have had one hand on that ball before there was back contact. But
I mean, you can't go around his back. I agree. He might have had a left palm near it, but I like how he was arguing. Like, yeah, it's a jump ball.
Yeah, can we find a way to close this one out? I know you guys will know before all of us. So
I'll try to keep it. I'll try to keep it hush.
1 minute 20 to go.
Minute 20. I'm in a minute 24 still. This is amazing. I mean, you're in Cleveland. I mean, you got to be in Cleveland right now.
Yeah, I'm staying at LeBron's house.
He said you're in Cleveland. I'm at 112, 112.
Oh my God, I'm way away. That's not a foul, by the way. Like a slight mugging.
Yes, sir.
There we go.
The teardrop.
That's a big shot there.
All right, I guess it's coming up. Oh, yeah, he can't guard him.
It is.
Attaboy.
The drop.
Attaboy. This is all the kind of nights we need.
That was good D right there. Dude's out of control. Guy should be in Scary Movie fucking 6, man. What the hell is this?
What is on his head, Darius Garland? I heard of dreadlocks, but shitlocks?
Is that a weigh-in? What is this guy?
It's not a weigh-in. Spectacular. Darius Wayans. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to miss a foul shot.
Yeah.
His shoes are ugly as fuck, too. I don't know what he's wearing on his feet.
I didn't even know he was at the line.
Sorry, Tommy.
Yeah, I didn't know he went there.
107, 105, 57.5 left. Garland for his second shot. He's got pink and turquoise green shoes on.
We got to send Tommy a postcard. Hey, send him a postcard. Sixers up 55 seconds.
Oh my God. I mean, you're already out of the fucking, you're already on the fast break. I mean, it's amazing. Like, I'm like
107, 106, 50 seconds left.
Oh my God. You guys can't say nothing because we're going to end up losing this because I was on one side and you guys were on the other. I know how my leg works.
Joe, take him. Take him. Oh my God.
What the hell?
Oh my God.
Toby off the side of the backboard.
Terrible shot. 30 seconds left. Cleveland has the ball.
Early pissed you off, Tom. Toby off the side of the backboard. D it up.
Oh my God.
Did you see the missed layup he had like 4 minutes ago?
Can we take Markkanen though, Joe? Like, come on, man.
Yes. I thought Thibault was the spot. Dude, that dude just went right by him and then dressed him and then threw a boulder off the top of the backboard. Thank you. Oh my God. For all the
they didn't call a foul right there? Did we call timeout?
For all the Matisse, I'm a glove guys.
It's tough with mute.
That was he just got undressed there. Thank God that guy threw it over the backboard. My God.
Yo, he lets guys go by him all the time. He's like amazing at that behind.
Yeah, he loves to go behind.
He's incredible at it. But
he gave him.
It's weird. It's weird how he does it. Like he did that in college a lot too. Lets guys go by him, blocks from behind. But it looks bad when a guy goes right by.
Yeah, he went in a zip code there. He had no shot at that block. Did they foul us? They went immediately to fucking.
No, I think they called timeout. I couldn't tell. It's tough when you're on mute here, you know?
They called timeout. They called a timeout.
Ref ran into a guy. Jesus.
It looked like James Harden got hit in the face there after they got the ball. Should have been a foul. It's all right, though. We hold one, right?
Yes.
We hold one.
Yeah, 12 seconds left.
All right. Well, hit your foul shots. Whoever goes to the line, got to hit your foul shots. That's all it is.
I mean, Joe, 43 and 17. Hard.
Can I get a score check on Greg? Get a score check on that Heat game. I think Heat and Toronto are playing. Right?
Toronto's up 55-50. Just started or 10 minutes into the third quarter.
Not the final 5 minutes yet. Ton of time left.
Knicks won, I assume.
Knicks did win.
Our ball side out. 12.5 to go.
The Knicks win by a ton. They were rolling earlier.
Yes. 40.
Oh, wow.
30. 18 and
30.
18 and 12. I got you, buddy. You call me Goodwill Sweeps.
Who's getting inbound here? Thank you.
Harden to the line. 11.2 left.
All right, close it out. Still got to get a stop, but close it out. Jimmy J, I don't care about MVP. I don't really care. That's for the player to care about, not me. You know, I care about.
Yeah, Jokic's going to win it. He's right, but it's all right. Whatever. We don't care.
I don't care. I'm just trying to get over humps. I know who the best player is.
He still had a great year.
Yeah, I know the best player.
He's probably going to finish second.
And what you can take out of it is most games he's played in his career. You know, it's something to build off. I
think we can safely say you can put to rest the injury worries, which is great. Great to say. But I think you can safely say that. I'm not worried about him like getting hurt anymore. I mean, obviously, it's the NBA. Anyone can get hurt. Knock on wood. But you can put the rest like that. He's injury prone. I think that's a thing of the past.
2 big free throws. Sixers hold 3. 11 seconds. Side out. Timeout.
The big
iPhone
oil
commercial should tell you how if you drop it, the back will just shatter and keep shattering worse and worse and worse. The back of my phone's a disgrace. Front's fine. Back disgrace. Seriously, like there's parts falling off, like you can see into the phone. I'm like, is this a problem? Is this an issue? Like, do I have to get this fixed?
This is where I hold out hope when it comes to Harden, real quick, guys. Right before this game ends, is that throughout another bad shooting night, though, we look at a stat line of 21, 10, and 10. Like, we look at a triple-double. We look at something close to that nightly. So there's still an impact on the game where, like, other guys like Tobias, did you even play? You were 3 for 13. Like, you had 9, 5, and 3. So it's like, okay, you shot bad, but did you do anything else to, like, put us in a position to be able to win a basketball game? Like, that's the other side of it, too. Like, to a point, right? Like, I'm not clamoring for 4 for 13s. Makes sense?
He hits his foul shots. He hits his fucking foul shots.
Yeah, I'm not clamoring for that, but I will clamor for a 21, 10, and 10 nightly. Like, if you can walk in
the point guard, he better get.
Well, no, I'm just saying, if you can walk in the gym and get me that, right? That's the consistency, though, not 4 for 13s, but the consistency like that we need, right? We need that other consistent piece around Joe, right? And that's all. Like, I just hope that he can, and then some nights, like we were talking about, have shoot the ball well from 3. I think today he was 2 for 7, but like,
good steal, piece. What a steal! Fucking job right there.
Outstanding job.
So much for keeping it quiet for Tommy Wells.
Sorry. I mean, that's a humongous play. Sorry.
Let's go.
Sorry.
No, I would expect
that's
that.
a monster. That's a monster play right there. That's a winning time play right there.
Just busting balls.
No, it is. Listen,
it's a monster fucking play.
Yes, it is.
We'll talk about they have lulls throughout games, throughout this year, throughout their time playing together. But I got to look around the rest of the league, and I see similar things sometimes that like are like, all right, well, we are, I guess, what our record says we are. So we're right with that group of 4. You know what I mean? Or 3, whatever you have that you believe is a damn good basketball team. Like that's where I think we just are. It has nothing to do with tonight. It has nothing to do with the other games. It just has to do with like, okay, I already thought we were good. Right? Like before we even made a trade, I was like, we're pretty good though. Like, I don't know how good. Probably not a good enough team to win anything or to win the East, but we're all right. And then you make the trade. I just feel like we
better win the first round. I'll tell you that.
I mean, now you're getting out of control. Like, I don't.
Well, I mean, but if we're 4, who is 5? Like right now, who is it?
It's
I don't even know.
Shoot, I had it earlier.
Like, because we're 4 right now, currently, right?
Right now
we are. It's Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could beat Toronto, but that's not an easy series for us.
But we're not 4 after a win tonight, because then we're tied with Milwaukee.
I would hope that we're going to be. I would hope we're going to finish 1 or 2, or like 2 or 3.
I would assume Milwaukee has the head-to-head over us, right?
Yeah, they have the one extra win. We beat them there, and they beat us, I think, twice. So
up 3, Joe going to the line with 1.5 left. The game is essentially over.
We don't
hit
know.
A foul shot.
We don't know who we're going to get. And Jimmy, I get it. Jimmy, you're out. You're out, and that's okay. Like, that's okay. I'm just going to tell you, I might be sitting right with you. That's it. I'm just not there yet. I'm not there yet. I got to see this. Come postseason time, because that's all that mattered when we made the deal. Right? It was like, okay, can we get you all enough? Right, guys?
Well, you missed the first foul shot.
All right. So you said it was over.
That's yeah, that's correct. That one's on me. Hit this one, Joe. Come on. He's got to go 1 or 2. Come on. Okay. Ball game over. Don't even play defense. Joe almost blocked it anyway. 112-108 final. That's a good win.
On the way to 5-0. You're welcome.
That's a good win.
And they
That's
well
a
they
good win,
pushed.
but let's be honest, Cleveland's
pushed
not
that.
very
What was
good.
it, 4?
Cleveland's solid, but they're not very good.
Yeah, on the road. I hear you.
Oh, good win. Good win.
Well, they're fighting for like their playing lives or 60 life.
I believe they're 7th currently.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. They're fighting for
Yes.
their
2
they're
games
fighting,
behind the Bulls.
yeah, they're fighting to not be in the play-in.
So who's the
2
play-in?
and
7 through 10?
Yeah, so you got Cleveland, Atlanta, Charlotte,
Absolutely
and Brooklyn.
ridiculous.
So I think it's what 9 and 10 play, and then they play the winner of 7 and 8, right? Yeah, I think that's the way it is.
Yeah,
Because the winner of 7 and 8 becomes a 7 seed. The loser has to play the winner of 9 and 10.
9 and 10 game. Yep. That's correct. That's how it is. Winner of 7 and 8 becomes a 7, and then the other two play like 9, 10 play, and the winner of that plays the loser of 7 and 8.
Yeah.
Unreal. Ridiculous. Absolutely absurdly ridiculous.
I mean, just give out a freaking box of snow cones. I mean, it's unreal. And some tasty cakes. I mean,
I'd love some tasty cakes. The big tasty cake had a big game. He throwing tasty cakes at him.
he absolutely did.
Yes, he did. The big Walt Whitman had a big game.
Yeah.
You know I'm fat. I got him right next to me.
Yeah, pop them. What do you got? Butterscotch crimps?
No,
Okay.
The peanut butter bites. Peanut butter cakes.
I'm not a big chocolate guy.
TTB, I think that's where Tommy's landing. You know what I mean? Both of you aren't wrong. You know what I mean? We're just saying that you gotta see it. You know what I mean? Gotta see it. You know? I think we have 2 stars. I don't know how plural that is. But
I'd say we have 1.
I'm assuming I know, but you know, hard,
But the one's a fucking superstar.
He's considered a star, yes. One's a megastar.
Listen, I understand that James Harden. I know I say he fucking stinks, and I just truly believe he fucking stinks. But I understand he's not like a terrible player. But in my view, he fucking stinks. But Joel's special, really special, and he's probably not going to win MVP. But everyone loves to jerk off Jokic. To me, it's a toss up whether he won MVP or not. I'd say I'd probably give it to him. So, fuck it. I don't care if he doesn't win it. Throw the ball to him every play in the playoffs. I don't care. Throw a ball to him every fucking play. Then I like our chances.
No, listen, I hear you. I mean, that's all you can. You're riding on him being the best player on the court every night.
Where's Jim Lynam's pot of gold? Because I'd like it. It's unreal.
All these teams are beatable in a way. That's all.
I'd say they all are beatable. I think Milwaukee is. If you're asking me straight face, I'd say Milwaukee is clearly better than us. Now, can we beat them? I think we could. You know, if they shoot the ball, you never know. They shoot the ball poor for a series. Like Middleton has a bad series shooting the ball. Absolutely, we could. I think that's going to be our biggest issue because I like Giannis and Joel matching up against each other, and obviously you can kind of just cancel each other out. Middleton is a problem if he gets going. So I mean, if he doesn't get going, we could definitely beat them. I don't see, but they're a better basketball team than we are.
Yeah, I mean, they're defending champs. You're going to have to go through them to get to where you want to get to. Absolutely.
Absolutely, you're going to.
But I look at the rest of it.
It would be cool if they had to play fucking Brooklyn in the first round, though.
I just look at the rest of those teams, and I feel like I feel like I can beat them in 7. I look at the Heat. I feel like I can beat them in 7. I look at Boston, especially now, and I feel like I can beat them in 7 because they have the size inside to be able to.
Boston scares me, but I don't think that they can defend Joel.
Yeah, I don't think they have the size inside. So to be able to keep up.
Especially with Williams hurt.
And plus, they've been so hot. It's so hard to keep that going for that long a time. You know what I mean?
I do like Boston, though. Boston's tough.
No, they're a good team. They have really good players.
And those games would be, if we played Boston in the playoffs, those games would be crazy.
Phenomenal.
Those games would be like 135-130 if we played Boston in the playoffs. Because we're not going to be able to contain Brown and Tatum, and they're not going to be able to stop Joel. It's going to be fucking crazy scoring.
Yeah, well, and then you look at, I mean, you just look around it. It's Milwaukee and there's other teams are just in that spot, right? Like Boston, Miami, Brooklyn, and us, right? I think all those teams are beatable, including ourselves. Like if I'm a Nets fan, I say we can beat them, right? And if I'm that's how I look at it. Like if I'm a Miami fan, I say I can beat them, right? So like I'm trying to keep it all in perspective that like we're not the beast of the East. Everybody should really fear, and who they should really fear is Milwaukee. They're the defending champs, and they're air quote running it back. They're really good. You know what I mean? They're really good. So can I beat them? I don't know. I think that goes 7 though. I think it goes 7. I just do because we got a star player, and I think he's gonna do what he does, and it's gonna win us basketball games. And then we're gonna probably be inconsistent and lose games. And Giannis is what Giannis is, and he's gonna win them games. So I feel like that's like a punch, you know what I mean, type series. But I don't know.
I mean, that one comes down to what other supporting stars are more consistent, right? You have, and they're all veterans too. So you would think you would have that answer, but obviously we know with the Sixers, you don't know what you're getting each night from Toby and James. Milwaukee's usually a little bit more consistent with Drew and
absolutely.
I'm blanking on his name,
Middleton.
But yeah. Still, Middleton. But still, they both can go on shit sprees to where they're playing terrible as well.
Yeah, I would pick Milwaukee in 7, right? That's just being as fair as I can be. I think they win that series. Like I'm not trying to be a homer about this either. I just think we're right there in that other tier. We're right there in that other tier. So we could cough something up and not play well in a series, absolutely, and get ourselves knocked out before we want to. But we could also be good enough to beat another team in the second round, or even in the first round, start with the first and second round, and maybe be playing Milwaukee right in the Eastern Conference Finals. So like,
I look at it.
It depends. Like if we see Milwaukee in the second round, I don't know then if we get out of the second round. I don't know.
Yeah, I look at it. Yeah, like right now it's 4-2 them with a couple games I think could be a toss up. You know what I mean? So, do we haven't had the ability to win those toss up games? You know what I mean?
Like a Sixer.
Yeah,
I want a 6 spot as well.
Okay. All right.
We just and
I just think their bench is a lot better than ours.
Yeah, but they're inconsistent too. I mean,
they are, but I really like. I think Bobby Portis starts for them, but I really like Bobby Portis. I like Pat Connaughton.
They won it all because they had the best player on the court. That's what it comes down to. The most dominating player on the court, and his supporting cast did him a great service too, right? And that's why they won it all. They're the best player on the court throughout the whole postseason, and he showed it, right? And he's back, and when he's going, listen, they're a tough fucking out. They're a tough out. You got to hope, right? And Brett. So you got to hope. You got to hope, to your point, like Middleton has a bad series or Drew has a bad series, right? So you got to hope on those things. The only thing
I actually think, like, I mean, I know Wilson, somebody else said it earlier, and I know that the numbers are eye popping, and it probably is going to be him. But like, I think, I was on Joe all year, but I think it's going to go to Spelling Bee. You know what I mean? I think they're going to, wind up giving it to Spelling Bee. The MVP. In a close race, in the 3, I think all 3 of them are close, and I think what Luka's doing is overlooked. You know what I mean? I know, the other 3 guys are, we're not putting him in the other 3 guys class. I get that, but Luka's been awesome. They beat the Bucks today, dude. 32-15 out of him. I mean, he's been awesome.
Yeah, he's been playing some basketball.
If you deep dive, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a big deep dive guy. I just like to.
That was a good win out of us. I feel like in that stretch we were looking for good wins, right?
Against Dallas.
That Dallas win was a good win. I'm not saying a great win. I'm not like, what I mean, but they're a top 4 seed in the West, so they're because they have him, and we were always able to sort of slow him down a little bit in that game, if I remember right, and they don't have he doesn't have that supporting cast either, right? It's him. They go with him. Like they're gonna win games because he goes off. I mean,
what's his name's been playing. I think when we played them, though, Tom, I think what's his name was like just starting to transition into the role they have him now, Dinwiddie, who's like runs the second unit now, basically for them. Yeah, and that's when they've been playing a lot better.
Yeah, true. And I do like Brunson too. I just don't feel he doesn't have. I love him.
He's gonna get paid by somebody this offseason. I love me some fucking Jalen Brunson.
Get paid.
He gonna get paid.
I love the fact that he was trying to recruit Micah to the Eagles. Last week on social media.
Always a fan of that when your contract's up.
Yeah, someone's going to pay him a lot of money.
Yeah, I like him a lot. He's a really good player. I knew that when he was at Nova, he was going to be a really good player.
Oh yeah,
he's just gritty as fuck.
He was one of those guys at Nova. You thought they was going to be the rare one and done, and then I think he realized how good he was at Nova and how much of a chance they had to win, and stuck around.
You know what I love? I love this kind of comment. Who's stopping Tatum? And I'll just rebuttal.
Nobody.
Who's stopping Joel?
I mean, he's right.
Who has a better chance of having an off game? Who has
you're right though.
Who has a better chance of having an off game? Joel or Tatum?
I would say Tatum because he relies on jump shot more.
Exactly. So I'll take Joel in every series outside of the.
But Tatum's going to score a lot of points again. If we play them in the playoffs, I mean, Tatum's going to score a lot of points in that series.
I'm not. This isn't a shot at these other players. It's saying that like outside of Milwaukee, I feel like I have the best player on the court in every one of these series. Outside of Milwaukee, and I don't
know about Durant.
Okay, I
agree with everything else you said.
I hear you, but he can always have an offer. Right, he can.
Yeah, but I'll still gonna lean to Durant being. To me, he's done it. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna lean to him being above JoJo.
Yeah, he did it with the great. You know, he ran to do it. I'm not gonna take away him doing it, but he ran.
I know. Hand to God. To me, he'll never be in my top 5 players of all time. Maybe even my top 10 because of the move to Golden State is the biggest pussy move in the history of sports. I don't care what anyone says.
Kevin Durant is a great basketball player.
Amazing player. Amazing player. That was a pussy move, though.
Yeah, I would love on my basketball team, but I will take right now Joel Embiid over him.
Man,
I'm not saying by a lot, Wills. I just feel like I still have the best player on the court in that series. Because I feel like every night he's giving me that number. He's averaging almost a point a minute, and Durant's right there with that. And so is Giannis. All three of them are like, hey, we're scoring, right? All three are scoring. The other two get it done more with higher percentage shots than necessarily KD does. He's just a fucking sniper, right? But the chance of a sniper having an off one, you can have an off one.
I agreed, but he's a killer, though. Like, if you're asking me in a stretch of a tight game who I'd rather have, I'd probably rather have Durant.
Okay, I don't think I can argue that side of it because he's done it. But like Joel's also had big shots. It's just not in those situations. That's all. Like I get it. Like you know what I mean? Like he hasn't had.
Hey, Joel's still a work in progress.
He hasn't had
I understand. Incomplete. You can give like an incomplete grade currently.
The problem with Joel in that scenario is that he needs somebody usually to get him the ball, right? KD usually has the ball from Jump Street in that scenario, right? In that bubble scenario that you're talking.
Truth be told,
KD usually has the ball in his hand, so it's his go. Joel, and to your point, hasn't done it a lot because a lot of times he needs somebody to get him the ball, and it doesn't always work. No fault to Joel.
No, Greg, you're right. And, the only advantage we have is that,
which would be something that puts Durant higher.
Yeah. Well, no, but something that we do have a guy that has shown the ability to want to get him the basketball, right? And that's Harden. Like he has made a very conscious effort since he walked in the door here to get him the basketball, which you would say like, oh, that's common sense, Tom. Well, we didn't necessarily know that, right? Like we didn't know how he was going to come in. So they've worked together on the pick and rolls and some things that they can do that have seemed to at least work together. You know what I mean?
First off, they've been dynamite on the pick and roll. I feel like Joel and James have been dynamite on the pick and roll. And another thing I will give James is that Matisse has become a slightly better offensive player since he's been here because he gets him a couple easy baskets a game, couple easy slashing dunks to the basket. Matisse still is not a good offensive player at all, but he's probably averaging, I'd say, probably 2.5 to 3 more points since James got here. I don't know the exact stats, but I would sure he is because he's been averaging like 11.5 a game, I think, since James got here. So that's a good thing because Matisse is going to be on the floor. Yeah, so we need him to score some points.
Yeah, it definitely feels like he's gotten some garbage buckets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like little easy ones.
Easy bunnies.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. And that's huge because we'll take 6 points out of Matisse, right?
Yeah, because we're going to need it. We're going to need the points out of him because he's going to be on the floor because you need his defense on the floor.
See, everybody asks me this too. Like, do you trust Matisse or do you trust Tobias? Like, I don't have to. Like in big spots, like I don't necessarily have to. Like, I got 3 other guys that can take that shot over those guys. You know what I mean? Like 3 other guys. I think
we're going to need Tobias to hit some big shots though. If we want to get to where we want to get to, he's going to probably get open looks. We're going to need him to hit big shots.
What are your guys' expectations?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
my expectations are that people are going to double the fuck out of Joel.
No. That's not the
okay.
Like, do you like? I mean, I think you guys have answered this, but like, do you have them?
I think we're going to lose in the second round, but I think we have the capability of getting to the Eastern Conference Final. I totally agree with you. I just don't think we're going to get. To me, I don't think we're there yet. I think we need some pieces in the offseason.
Yeah, I hear you. I think that's I don't want to say our ceiling, but I sort of feel like our ceiling.
But I mean, I expect it to be. I don't think that we're going to get like blown out in any way. I expect it to be very competitive, and just hopefully we make big plays down the stretch. Like I think it's going to be tight. These games are going to be tight. Can we make big plays down the stretch? That's all it's going to come down to.
I'm expecting to be disappointed, but I'm hoping for the best.
Yeah, I always expect to be disappointed because I'm a Philly fan. I mean, there's a set up for disappointment.
Yes, I've lived this life for too long, Tom. My hair's turning gray.
No, I'm not trying to again. I'm not talking about Nets cutting down now because when you first make the trade, you feel like you're that good and you feel like that. Hey, it's the perfect complement to Joel.
I mean, there was a lot of finals talk. Finals are bust.
No, I know. Listen, and I'm not gonna.
I'm there too.
I'm not gonna say
because I think I said it a couple times.
No, I did. Absolutely, I did.
Yeah, I know I have. So I don't want to run from my initial comments when the deal happened, right? But then Sleep's talking about eyeballs. Well, now I've watched it, right? And I do think they complement each other tremendously well. Now, I got a little outlandish and I was Kobe and Shaqin', but he hasn't necessarily delivered on his part. The other guy, Shaq, right? The other guy said, yep, I'm right there. I'm dominant. The other guy hasn't been dominant scoring consistently, but the fact that he's able to get him involved, the fact that he's able to get him easy baskets at times, that's so important to this, right? Like I'm not overlooking 4 for 13, but hey, there's some easy pick and rolls where they're both rolling to the basket and he had a dunk or two, right? There's just easy buckets that add on, right? And that are important. So my whole thing with him is I don't want you to come in and be Ben Simmons and be the ultimate distributor, right? I still want you looking for your shot, right, guys? I still want you looking for your shot, but there is 3 other guys around you that can score the basketball. There is. You're not in a situation where it's just you and Joel. Tyrese can score the basketball, right? Tobias, we know Tobias, but Tobias at times can score the basketball. So this basketball team needs to learn to roll with the other hot hand. Make sense? So who's the other hot hand that night? And that's part of playing with each other so you guys can sort of feel it out. Hey, who's scorching tonight? And that's on Doc too, right? So that becomes on the players and Doc to say, hey, James isn't shooting well tonight, but Tyrese has it going on. Right, guys? So now I got to get Tyrese the ball in his hands more so he can maybe continue to have it going on. Or Tobias, right? We know Joel's going to have it going on. So how do we as a basketball team say, hey, tonight's not my night, and move the basketball? I thought in the fourth quarter they did a good job. There was a possession or two, obviously, but they did a good job of some extra passes, right? And getting guys good looks. Toby missed a 3 on the one possession. Joel got the rebound, but it was the extra pass. Harden made an extra pass to Maxey. Maxey made the extra pass when he had that shot. He made the extra pass to Tobias. Great open look from the corner. He just didn't make it, right? But it's hey, if you play that type of basketball, more times than not, he's probably going to make that shot because it's the basketball gods rewarding you for playing good basketball. Right? Just play good basketball. And when they have, and they've made the extra pass and they've moved the basketball, I look at this offense and say, oh, fucking shit. This is a problem. This can be an issue, right? But it comes down to them consistently doing that because they haven't in some of these games and the lulls, right? And the dumb basketball, right? Some of the dumb basketball. But the reason I hold out hope is because, hey, these guys, 2 of these guys are veterans now at this point, and I don't want to say they're overlooking the regular season, but they know the regular season is what the regular season is. They got to be thinking, and this isn't a cop-out, they got to be, because these are big games. They lost the teams you want to compete against. But the ultimate goal is for all these guys to like up their game, Wilson. When we talk about the defensive side of basketball, I gotta hope when the postseason rolls around that the energy comes up. That's not saying that you're going to out rebound teams, right? I'm just hoping, this is Tom on Hope Island, that they up their energy defensively in transition defense, right? Even though teams can't run as much, you still don't want to give up easy buckets in the postseason. So will their energy come up a notch? And you can say turn on a switch. I don't want to say turn on a switch. I'm just saying up in your focus. Up in your focus.
We definitely have to play better transition defense.
Because there is focus problems. There absolutely is. There's some possessions you're like, you guys start playing basketball?
Bro,
yeah,
real quick, just to go back.
So, yeah.
Matisse is averaging 6.5 points since Harden has gotten here. It's about a half point up from his season average.
All right. I would have thought it was higher. Honestly.
He does have a bunch of games in double digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But he also got 4 games with goose eggs.
Oh, well, there you go.
So that takes, you know what I mean? That obviously takes you down.
Yeah,
lucky. Those goose eggs don't help, Greg. No,
no, they don't help you at all. And he's had some games where he's hit a 3 or 2, like a 3 or 1 or 2. I mean, and like that's like okay, you're probably not going to lose that game. Like if Matisse gets 10, you're like, I feel good. Like I feel good.
Oh yeah, feel great.
I expect double digits from everybody else.
Grabs a 10 spot.
This seems weird. They're weird. I mean, like, listen, that's the easiest I can say about it. That's why my expectations went from cutting nets down to, hey, can I get to an Eastern Conference final and let the chips fall where they may? Right? Can I take a step for Christ's sake? Right? So that's why like my expectations from day one of the trade has shifted because now I've watched it, and I can't sit here and tell you there ain't a concern in the world. I just the world because I've dealt with it after 2 losses doing post games and then finally a win and then another win here is that like, man, a regular season win, this guy didn't fall. Like there's question marks. But then I watch that other team play in a regular season game and I got question marks about them. Like I can make question marks about Milwaukee today against Dallas. There's question marks. They all played, right? They all played.
You lost. Getting beat by OKC by 16.
Like, and it's not an excuse. Like the Detroit one, Sweeps, you were saying that one doesn't bother you as much. The only reason that one pisses me off is because you just now, and I understand it, right? Because this is a letdown game after a letdown game, right? Like you lost the game close to Milwaukee. It's a tough loss to swallow, and then you're going to Detroit. You know, okay, I'm playing Detroit, right? And it's almost like a hangover. That's like a hangover game. I'm just pissed because that's the nut I want to see you.
I wasn't happy. Yeah, I wasn't happy about it. I was embarrassed. I'm just saying, like, you know, on the panic list, you know, I'm more concerned that we haven't beat anybody any good. You know what I mean? As opposed to losing to a bad team that happens in the NBA. You know what I mean? Like
who we beat? We beat Dallas.
Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make me, enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we were just thoroughly disgusted the other night when we were like, we're gonna lose to the Pistons. Is this fucking real life? You know what I mean? So
yep. You shit me, Clark?
And it was.
To your point, there's only one game where Matisse scored in double digits that we lost in this stretch, and that was the Toronto game. He had 12,
another game we shouldn't have lost. But Toronto always plays us tough.
So to your point, right? You get anything out of Matisse, double digit scoring, you're winning. You're winning those games because you're getting that production from an unknown source.
Yeah, and that's all you're trying to find. And I'm not Mr. Wing. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm Mr. Doc either, right? Like I'm like lukewarm on Doc. You know, I don't know, right? I don't know. I've had my issues with him, but I also
I got issues with Glenn. I got thorough issues with Glenn.
Yeah, you're top of my shit list.
Yeah, UConn down 9 in the women's national championship. If anyone cares, I do because I have money on it.
Glenn Bow, you know, is like another wait and see for me. You know, like all right, how do you fare this postseason, Glenn? Right, you know, how do you get through this one? Do you have another letdown? Right? Do you get bounced in the second round? Do you get bounced in the first round? Do you help this team get over a hump? Right? There's a lot. There's going to be a lot of questions after this one. After this season's over. If they don't take care of business in the postseason. And that's why I'm not.
That's it.
Go ahead, Will.
Yes. Sorry, no. I'm watching the women's national championship game at the moment. Sorry. Dude, I put money on
85-83 Toronto. Or I'm sorry, 85-83 Miami.
Love that. I bet Miami in that game too, by the way. I have a parlay going. That looks good. But I bet UConn women's basketball when Paige Beckers came back like a month and a half ago to win it all. Put 20 on it, and it's like to win 260, and they made it to the national championship. So obviously, I'm rooting.
Yeah, we have it on. I believe my dad would let fucking Gino touch his fucking hammer. I mean, that's how much he fucking loves him. It's disgusting.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Pow.
I'm assuming that's why he likes UConn basketball. I can't imagine why.
Paige Beckers is a fucking stud. She's going to take over this game, and they're going to win.
That's a bad turnover.
As she drops the ball and goes out of bounds. But the Miami game is on NBA Network, so I'm also watching that too. And I got a fucking fantasy baseball draft that starts at 9:30, so I'm hopping off at 9:25, and I have another one at 10. So this is gonna be fun. We're gonna see how this works.
Action packed.
Got a lot of shit going on over here. Lot of shit.
I'm in the middle of one right now too.
I'm gonna try to hop back and forth between the fucking one with Eddie Black and Butch and them, and then ours. This is gonna be fun. See if I can pull it off.
Yeah, like I said, Jimmy, not Jimmy J in the chat, but Jimmy Rodweiler does the show Monday here. He's out, right? He's out. He's out on him, and I see plenty of people.
Jimmy, yeah, I saw some of their show last Monday.
I just see plenty of people in the chat. I see plenty of people in the chat that are like officially like out on him, right? And that's where I'm like, well, come on, you can have concerns and you can have some problems with them, right? But you're totally out, right? Like,
I'm gonna watch.
No, watching
when
and
I'm home,
watching and like thinking like to yourself, like I don't know if this team's good enough. But there's people out there that like are done with them, like they're just done. They're just done.
But they're lying to you. They're still gonna watch.
It's not even watching, Wilson. It's just they have zero belief.
I mean, I might be one of them people. I don't have zero. I have like maybe 11%. I'm a low battery over here. I got a low battery flashing about 11%.
What's your 11%?
James Harden shooting
my 11%
percentage?
is that we hit some fucking shots and we throw the ball to Joel every fucking play.
No.
Somehow we win games down the stretch, like in the clutch. Somehow Harden realizes he's not a fucking loser like he's been his whole life.
I think you're what is your level there of getting to an Eastern Conference
Finals?
Is that what 10%. It is? Like, is okay? I'm trying to figure out your percentages here. You just started throwing percentages.
10% that we get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Analytics here. Oh god,
10% chance.
I can't.
Yeah.
Oh my god, stop. 10% chance. I think is egregious.
Okay.
10%.
Where's your chance? Where's your percentage?
Oh god,
12.
Let's call up Kepler. Let's guys call up Kepler while you're at it. Oh god.
I would say we have about like 10% chance.
Maybe I think we got like a 60% chance of getting the Eastern Conference Final. That's not winning it.
So you think we're favored to that if we have a 60% chance?
I said like 50. I'm like 50-60. I didn't want to be like right down the middle, so I'm just trying to be like not being like crazy, like saying 99% chance. Like I think it's like 60-40. Like I think we have a good chance of getting there. We have a good chance of getting there. Now, if you play Milwaukee in the second round, I don't know. Right? I don't know. That's my only caveat to it. If I play Milwaukee in the second round,
but you think we can beat everyone but Milwaukee? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, I don't think easily. Like I'm not telling you guys we're sweeping teams.
Go through teams in the East, and you're telling me if we're going to beat them in a playoff series. That's all I'm saying.
I think we beat Miami.
Miami.
I think we're too big. We're too big with Joel for Boston. I think that creates so many.
Boston. So you think we'll beat Miami and Boston? Okay, we'll say like any of the lower seeded teams, like Atlanta.
Yeah, I think yeah.
I mean, I hope. We've seen it before. Ice Trey comes in swinging.
I got no time for ice trays right now.
I was at a game in a luxury suite. I watched it happen.
Oh,
Brooklyn.
Kevin Huber.
It's hard to say after that loss, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that we can beat Brooklyn in this. To me, I think there's 4 teams in the East that I'm not sure we can beat in a 7-game series. We might see one of them in the first round. I mean, I don't think we will, but depends on how we end up here. Obviously, it's a big win tonight for that not to happen. But I think, honestly, Boston, Miami, I think Milwaukee beats us straight up. And then Boston, Miami, fucking Brooklyn, and I mean, I almost want to even throw fucking Toronto in there because they always play us tough. But Boston, Miami, Brooklyn, definitely, I don't think we can beat in a series. Wouldn't shock me if we beat any of them 3 in a series, but also wouldn't shock me if we lost.
I think we can beat them in a series. I don't think they're necessarily the favorites. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I think there's definitely a shot. Because, again, it all goes back to Joel Embiid, right? It's what we've been talking about all night. It all goes back to the big man. So, and who can guard him, per se, right? Not necessarily who do we have to guard, and who's going to guard the big guy. So I think there's always a chance. I think there's definitely a chance that we can beat those 3.
There's definitely a chance. We get paid.
But I guess to your point, would we be the favorites? Probably not. In 2 out of the 3, I think we'd be the favorites in Toronto.
Yeah, we would
play as
for
well.
Sure. But
we probably wouldn't be the favorites against Miami or Boston,
or Brooklyn
and Brooklyn.
Yeah, I think we're on.
But I think they're all beatable. You know what I mean? I'm in full agreement, Greg. We definitely could win, but all 3 could definitely beat us. So I think they're having the same. I think Tom said this earlier, but if you're like a Brooklyn fan or they're having the same conversation, like, oh, they're beatable. So I don't know. It's about can we make big winning plays in crunch time, and James Harden's never done that in his life. So I'm betting that he probably won't, but I hope he proves me wrong, or I hope he just throws the ball to Joel every fucking play, and we're going to need Toby to hit shots because they're going to double Joel hard in the playoffs. Yeah, that's where the defense against Joel is going to pick up, right? They still might not be able to handle him, but they're going to double him.
Hard. They're going to, they're probably, if we play, they're probably going to foul him. They're probably going to have guys that just are in strictly to foul him, hard fouls, which is good. One good thing about the NBA is you can't foul that hard anymore because then they just call it flagrant, which is huge.
Yeah. Because
I would just have guys. If I was Brooklyn, I would have fucking who's their other center? Well, Andre Drummond's a bum. I would actually have Claxton actually play. I would have Drummond just foul Joel every time he gets the ball down low. Just foul him. Speedy Claxton.
And the good thing on our end is Joel's a great free throw shooter. So that doesn't.
Spectacular.
You know what I mean? That would. It's unlike the hack a Shaq or hack a Ben, right? Joel can actually make the free throws and make them hurt.
Well, that's the biggest thing with Harden. Like I will say, I'm on record that he's a fucking loser, and he is. But he does hit his fucking foul shots, and he gets the foul line a lot, which is huge, which is very big in the playoffs. Obviously, as we saw, Ben not being able to hit a goddamn foul shot in his life.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only thing he's got when he's going 4 for 13 every night. You know what I mean? That's what gets him to his 20 points. Is he's usually 9 of 10, 10 of 11 of 12 from the free throw line, which then makes his points seem like he was there, right? You know what I mean?
Quick question off subject. How are the A's going to make the playoffs this year? Because they're going to have – who's going to throw well for them? The A's have traded their entire team. Somehow they always sneak their way into the playoffs. How is it going to be? I don't think it's going to be done this year.
Is I was getting ready to draft Moniak anyway, just because he just needed another arm, and then he gets traded to San Diego, and I'm like,
that's a good move. Yeah, that's good. Yep.
Definitely Next guy, let's go.
And Lance Lynn's out a while, which is big because I didn't draft him.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'm hoping guys didn't see that for the draft that I'm about to start soon. Somebody drops a Lance Lynn, I will be laughing.
That's great.
Flyers up 3-1.
Yeah, I just turned them on.
I'm probably not going to be on for when you guys do crumbs, but the Flyers would be my crumb.
You're not taking my crumb, are you, son of a bitch?
Oh, sorry. No, well, I'll let you do it. But you're right.
Yeah,
I'm 100% with you.
Yeah.
I'm 100% with Ronick. I'm 100% with Hayes. Everyone trashing them. I'm 100% with all that.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. We fucking stink. I understand that Keith Yandle's been garbage, but we fucking stink.
Yeah, why
So
now? Why wasn't it early in the year then?
What are we doing? Might as well. He's got 989 straight games played. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna really scratch him and cost him that when we stink this bad anyway. We really care now.
Well, that's what happened earlier in the season too at Provorov because he was in COVID protocols and he's asymptomatic, and I'm like he lost his streak because of it. That's I guess a little bit more quote unquote understandable, but.
Yeah, but this one's egregious, and like
it's
not good when especially even like guys like Roenick, who's a former Flyer, and always talks great about the organization, comes out and trashes. That's never a good thing.
Yeah,
not good. But I'll let you hammer them later. Then hammer them
completely.
For the both
we just
of us,
did. We just really did. That's
we'll do it worse.
Butler, Bad Mata landed on his feet. Butler.
Oh,
that's good.
Butler will be back.
On a completely different side note, Johnny Knoxville is wrestling at WrestleMania right now.
What is going on? He's still around.
And Party Man and Party
Boy
Boy
there
came
was a new
there was.
There was a new fucking Jackass that just dropped. Apparently, it's on like Paramount, so I haven't watched it, but apparently it's very good. I heard.
And now Wee Man is in. This is amazing. This is
like a Jackass thing. Yeah.
This is spectacular. The only thing missing is Wee Man getting shot out of a cannon. And with the size of what Wee Man is, I don't think he can get out of a cannon.
Yeah. Wee Man's a little plump now, huh?
Oh, Wee Man's plump. Wee Man looks like me,
plump,
but like
plump man.
2 feet.
2 foot tall, Greg.
2 foot tall, Greg.
I love it. Listen, you gotta love it, honest guy.
The image I just had in my head will scar me for the rest of my life.
Look at this guy.
If you saw Wee Man, you'd be like, holy shit, Greg was right.
Screenshot it, send it over. Why can't I go back? I'm trying to go back to that fucking.
What is WrestleMania now? Like 4 days? Is it
why is WrestleMania on for 11 days now?
I was going to say, bro. Somebody just told me like Stone Cold was out yesterday. And I'm like,
Stone Cold was definitely out yesterday.
I thought it was like a Sunday thing.
And then Undertaker went in on. They were watching it on Friday too.
That was the Hall of Fame.
Okay, because I saw the thing where it came on. They were watching it Friday. I'm like, so wait, it's all weekend.
Yeah, well, they went from having
wrestling.
They went from having like one 6 hour night to doing 2. You know what I mean?
It's a nerd mecca weekend.
Greg
is just bathing in nerdness down there. I'm loving it. I'm sure.
Oh, it's phenomenal. Come on, give me a good shot of Wee Man.
I used to love that shit too, Greg, when I was 13 and 12. No offense. How do I get off this channel? Well, the NCAA, the women's fucking finals on like 11 channels. One has like Sue Bird.
Yeah.
Talking to that terrible fucking awful woman. How do I get that off?
Talking to which awful woman? There's a lot of
fucking Rapinoe, that fucking dirty bitch.
Oh, you mean her wife?
Yeah, I know. I'm well aware. I'm just saying. I hate her. Ugh. Megan Rapinoe, awful.
570 is just regular.
Yep. Is it halftime?
Yep. 8-point game.
8 points. Okay. They're in it.
What do you got the spread at?
Heat now have the lead.
No, I bet them like a month and a half ago to win the national championship.
Oh, that's the only one you got.
$20 to win 260.
Yeah, I didn't know if you threw money on it.
Nope.
I have
the Heat +5, and I think they're up now, so that's huge.
Yeah, Heat up 5 4 minutes ago.
Beautiful.
Heat up.
What about hold on, I have other. I'm not sure that anything else has started yet. Honestly.
We want them to keep their.
I have Golden State later, and I have the Clippers later.
We want them to keep that 1 seed, by the way.
Who, the Heat?
Miami.
Yeah. We don't want to get up there.
No, I listen. I'm right with you, Tom. I'd like to be second though, or third.
Okay, we're third right now. I mean, we're tied for it. We're half a game from second. like we're right.
It's jumbled fuck right there, right? So what?
It
so
is.
Who's technically second is Boston right now?
Boston.
Apparently by half a game.
Boston, Milwaukee, and us are tied, but Milwaukee's 3, we're 4.
So what about losses? Look at the losses. Who has the most losses?
We'll have 30.
We're all 30.
Okay, yeah. So, all right.
Yeah, it's a jump. It's a clusterfuck. And Miami.
He's trying to help you read how the
Miami's at 28.
Yeah, Miami's at 28. So like this is like the big that's when I'm like, hey, I feel like we're right there. It's because of that. Like it's not like we're in the 4-hole looking up 8 games above us or 5 games above us where we're like, we're not as good as that team. We're like
Wilson was
everybody but Milwaukee because they're the champs, so they should walk around like we'll beat anybody, of course, right? If we're Milwaukee fans, that's what I would be saying. But outside of them,
oh shit, I didn't realize the Heat had Oladipo back.
Outside of them, everybody should be scared of everybody.
The Heat's fucking deep as shit, man. I'll tell you.
No, they're not
as deep as shit.
They are for one reason, right? You have somebody who can exploit Tower Hero on the offensive side, they get themselves in a little bit of trouble. That's their biggest downfall, the Miami Heat, because he can't guard me or you. So he better shoot.
I mean, I give you that, but they don't. But you don't even have to have him on the floor if you don't want. You got Butler, Lowry.
What do you mean? If they don't want,
he's their best player.
I mean, listen, he's a very good player. That's why he's on the floor. But I'm saying,
arguably
if
their
it came
best
down
scorer,
to that situation, just take him off the court.
Well, he's arguably their best scorer. He doesn't come off the court like that. You know, he doesn't.
He's
start.
actually a good playmaker now too. He's averaging like 7 assists a game this year.
Oh, I'm not shitting on Hero. I'm just going off of what we did to them. Is we really exploited whoever was
Christ. Oladipo just shot one from the parking lot.
Whoever was guarding, whoever he was guarding, we were attacking, which I thought was like the first time I saw like a good game plan.
I don't know, dude. The Heat are tough.
I'm not saying they're not tough. Like, God, you're misinterpreting it. Like, I'm walking around telling you they're not good. I'm just telling you, I think we're better.
I'm not saying that you're not saying. I'm just saying the Heat are fucking deep as shit. I'm just
a week ago, everybody said the Heat stunk. A week ago, when Jimmy blew up, the Heat stunk. Now they're
they stink.
You can't have it both ways. Jerk off. You can't have it both ways. The Heat are very good, even with the Jimmy outburst.
Jesus. Fucking Max Strus. Max Strus hitting threes.
They have a lot of guys who can light it up. They do have a lot of guys who can score the basketball.
I just didn't realize all the other guys on their team. They have a Morris, too. I see him cheering. Which Morris is that? Is that Markeith?
Amazing. It's like the regular season is like irrelevant. Without participation ribbons, the Nets are 10th. It's glorious. It's like
we shouldn't even be talking about them.
They wouldn't even be
talking about
them. Dude, how about the fact why the fuck? And they're still the odds-on favorite, I think, in Vegas.
They haven't played that well with just KD and Kyrie together. Like now they've been able to play together. I think they're losers of 2 in a row. Like they haven't been like I don't think Seth played last night, so I'll give him that because that's an important piece to them. Obviously, Kyrie. So I'll give him. He didn't play last night, but they've been even with Kyrie playing. They've been up and down. Like you know what I mean? Even with them playing at times,
they can't play any defense.
They're the definition of no palms. But they're dangerous as fuck.
They need old back injury Ben back. Is he even going to play? He's not playing, right? Fucking pussy. That's great that he's not even going to play.
There's a lot of good teams in the East, and I think that's the biggest thing I take away from it is that, like, hey, I'm not going to sit here and crown the Sixers because they got a lot to prove to me, obviously. I'll crown Joel, but, like, I'm not going to walk around crowning the Sixers. But, like, I also think I can beat any one of those teams. Does that mean I'm going to beat them? Well, I don't know. But if you're a Heat fan, you should be walking around saying we're easy money. Like, if you're a Heat fan, it's easy money. Just like I'm not going to say the Heat are easy.
No, not at all. But I'm saying I think it's going to be tough. I don't know. I think we can I actually think we can beat the Heat. To me, Boston and Brooklyn probably both beat us in this series. But I don't think that we're going to play. I mean, there's a good chance we don't play them.
I'm not scared of Boston at all right now. They don't.
Boston scares me. Boston's very palmsy. Boston's very palmsy. I know what Boston's going to do. I know exactly what Boston's going to do. They're going to say, we're going to let Joel get his. We're going to let him. We'll let Robert Williams, he'll probably be back at that point, guard him, and we'll let Joel get his, and we're going to lock down everybody else, and we're probably going to lose to him.
I don't know if you're losing to anybody if somebody's letting Joel get his.
I mean, that's what if I was Boston, that's what I would do. Because they don't have any, I'm saying you don't double him. You know what I mean? Because they have such good wing defenders that they'll probably take away Maxey, take away. I just think it's going to be a tough series for us to win. That's all.
But yes. Let me make this clear. I think Boston's a 7-piece nugget too. I think they're all 7s. I'll have us win that series because of what I think he can do inside. That's not a shot at Tatum. I love Brown. You like people that know me at all basketball wise know how I'm not Mr. Tatum, but I love Brown. but I think Tatum's a stud too. So I don't want to take anything away from these teams, right? I think Marcus Smart plays great fucking defense.
I love Marcus Smart. He's a winning basketball guy.
I'm saying this hating Boston. But at the end of the day, like if I'm a Boston fan, I see Bill in here, I would be nervous to play us. I wouldn't be walking around being like that. That's a series I definitely win. I just won it. It's like I'm not saying it's a series we definitely win. It's a series I think we can win. I think our odds are better or more 60-40. They'll be able to win those types of series. I just do because we're gonna have the best player on the court in that series. That's it. That's all. And like they have scoring, so do we. We keep underestimating our ability to score the basketball too, in ways like we can score. We got plenty. I'm not saying plenty, but on our starting lineup, you got 4 guys who can score the basketball. So can Niang make his shots when he's in? It's going to be a big part of our.
That's the biggest issue. I don't think we shoot the basketball well enough. That's our biggest issue.
And we make up.
I'm watching Miami hit everything they fucking shoot right now.
Johnny Knoxville won the match, by the way. They brought out a giant mouse trap. It was pretty spectacular.
Who was he wrestling? An actual wrestler?
Sami Zayn, yeah, an actual guy.
Sorry, Greg.
No, you're good. I'm not talking anything this related.
I think Miami's energy is going to go up in the playoffs. I think they're going to play better. I think they're even going to play better defense, like a guy like Kyle Lowry and some veterans, right? So, like,
I mean, listen, Miami's got a lot of veterans. That's all I'm saying. Like, I think I'm with you on thinking that we can beat Miami, but Miami is loaded with vets. And I know Jimmy's an issue, but Jimmy's a stud on the court.
Listen, you know me with Jimmy. You know what I mean? I wanted Jimmy here. I was excited to get Jimmy here. So I'm not anti-Jimmy. I just don't know if they have the star power to win it. Right? That matters in the postseason too a little bit. Like they got to the finals, I get it. But Jimmy was a star in the playoffs. Who's going to be their star? Like, you know what I mean?
And that was I don't count that fucking fun.
I don't want to not count.
I don't count that fucking open gym fucking no fans there. I don't count that.
I'm still going to count a guy scoring the basketball at a high rate in the postseason, no matter where it's played. But I hear you. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know now, like do they have the star power to beat us, right? And I'm not saying star power always wins. It's just like my ways of trying to get the Sixers to win a 7-game series. Like, what do I have that maybe another team doesn't have? And I think our ability with what Joel does is just like that little difference maker to me this year, because this year he's played better than he's ever played, guys. That's the point. He's played the most games he's ever played. So I feel like in the fourth quarter he's going to be better. That's what I'm hoping.
And I totally agree with you there. But my question to you is though, okay, so looking at it from like if I'm going to be devil's advocate here is because teams are going to double him hard. You realize that, right? So someone else is going to have to step up. Who's going to be that person? Because that's what's going to happen. There might be a couple teams that like let him get his, like I said. Like I think Boston might be that team, but everyone else is going to double him and double him hard. Like every time he gets the ball, probably. So guys are going to have to make shots. Tobias is going to have to make shots. There's going to be guys that have to score. Who's going to be that guy, other guy? That's what I want to know out of you. Because we're not going to, because we have no fucking transition offense, like none, because of Harden. Like Tyrese gives us a little bit that we do have. But Harden is so slow with the ball. We don't have any transition offense. So we're going to have to score, obviously, in a half-court game, and Joe's going to be doubled a lot. So someone's going to have to play well besides him. So I know what you're saying, like, oh, we got this guy. We do. But they're going to fucking – it's not like the regular season where guys are like, yeah, we'll let him go up. It's the playoffs where they're going to double him every time he touches the ball. So how are we going to – how do we combat that?
Other teams, teams do it to other teams too. Come the postseason. Like they're going to try to get the ball out of certain guys' hands in certain situations.
Absolutely. But I'm saying, but that's what they're going to do, though. So what do we do?
I say we have 3 guys who scored a basketball around them. So it's not like we have garbage around them. We have inconsistency for sure, but we don't have garbage. Like I think we have options. So it goes back to the hot hand that night, right? Because there's going to be a hot hand that night alongside of them. Usually today.
Yeah. Usually is, yes, correct.
You didn't necessarily get one, even though you got the point production per se from Harden, right? But you didn't get one. So most nights I feel like I'm going to have one of those 3 guys be able to score the basketball at a high rate for me, and that's not saying a lot. That's not crowning any of those 3. It's just saying all 3 can do it. Their numbers speak to it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a long season. All their numbers speak to that they can. Now, did we move the basketball well enough that night?
And with it being the playoffs, it's almost got to be Tobias, right? You know what I mean? It's got to be Tobias. He's got to be one of those consistent guys, game in and game out. He doesn't have to go for 20 a night, but he can't have like a night. To your point, he can't have a night like tonight where he's 9 points, 3 rebounds, and or 5 rebounds and 3 assists. Like, did you play tonight? You can't have those games in the playoffs, Toby.
I agree with you because I think I'm going to get a consistent enough James in terms of scoring, maybe not shooting the basketball, right, guys? But in terms of like getting 20 and doing other things, I feel like I'm going to get that, right, Greg? To your point, right, leaning into bias, like he's got to be consistent. And guess what? I feel like the one benefit we have, if he's not, is Tyrese going. Because if one of those other two can just one night step up, the other one step up, vice versa, or get hot in a series, that's what we need. That's what we need. So I don't care which one it is. You put more onus on Tobias. He's a veteran, right? Of course, right? But I still feel like just because Tyrese isn't a veteran, I feel like he's still going to score in the postseason. I feel like his scoring production is not going to disappear. But there might be nights because he's
going to need to hit shots for sure.
Because he's young, that's going to disappear, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So are there other nights that Tobias can step up? And then, hey, can I have a pulse from the guys who do sub into this basketball game? Right? Like, can I have a pulse from a guy like Shake per se? Or can DeAndre give me like 6 like he did today? They're all oops, but I'll take 6 oops, right? I'll take 3 oops, and 5 boards in 12 minutes, whatever it is, right? It's probably a little bit more than that tonight, but you guys know what I mean. Like, can those guys they're not going to do it nightly. We have to understand that, right? Like, we have to understand that our bench might not show up some nights. And they're the nights that really put the onus on this 4 that all flat out score the basketball, right? They're the nights where you're going to need 18 plus from everybody walking around. If your bench isn't bringing you anything, you're just going to have to. Sure. It's just going to be what it is. But I just think we have the not similar concerns, but every team has their lapses and bullshit through the regular season. But we're right there with these teams. So can we lock in? Can Joel Embiid play the best basketball he's ever played in his life? Because that's what it's all for. It's all for my guy who's turning into a veteran now. He's 28 years old. He's ready to win. Can he go off? And of course, with Batman, you need Robbins. I get it. I totally understand this. But we've never seen him play at this level consistently through a season. That I gotta hope his legs are going to be the best they've ever been. Because we know the cardio side of this ball game too. Now. Yeah. Can the club have enough legs under him, right? Can the club goer have enough legs under him come the postseason? I gotta believe that guy wants a fucking win. So I feel like
he definitely wants to win.
I feel like he
definitely wants to win. I just think I think he fucking can't shoot anymore.
I feel that. I feel like that's what is being shown. I'm just praying to God he's in a little rough patch. And when the postseason hits, he gets a little hot. I'm just praying because you know how it can be a little ebb and flow. I mean, it's been a lot. Like I told you, it's been a lot of Evan. Not as much flow.
Hopefully God hears you.
I'm just praying. he's what we waited for. We had the big Aristotle, the big
Need a little flow here.
The big whiz wit. We have the big whiz.
Yeah. Big Walt Whitman.
Get a good roll. Can we get a good roll up in here? That's all we need is a good roll. I don't want to make a roll promotion because we're not sponsored by any roll companies. But if you're interested, great sponsor for you, tied with Joel. But
seriously, I'd love a good roll.
And I think he's going to give you this nightly, like regard. I feel like 21. I mean, it's sort of his numbers all year. 21. He's second in the league in assists, and he'll get you 7-8 boards a night. Like I feel like he's going to walk into that. So that's why we talk about hey, who can the other guy be? Maybe if he doesn't go off, Wells. If he doesn't go off.
No, I hear you. Listen, I got like a 2-minute warning here. I got to go. I got the draft starting.
Yeah, we got
2-minute warning.
You fucking guys. I mean, I hope you guys go the rest of the night. I know you will.
Well,
but to me, my last thoughts on it is, I'm with you, Tom. I think we're going to compete with everyone. I think it's going to be close. I wouldn't shock if we go 7 games with multiple teams here in this playoffs, but I think we're going to end up losing the second round, and it's because James Harden's a fucking loser. I'll leave you guys on that.
I tried tonight. I tried my best tonight to be a used car salesman. Like tonight, I was Daryl Morey's cousin.
I'm still watching, and I'm still hoping. I'm with you.
But I've said off air numerous times, does this guy stink now? like a couple
I
different.
I think he might stink.
And I'm like,
I'll talk to you guys. Love everybody. Peace out.
Peace, Wells.
Buy some fucking Manscaped products. Let's go.
Yep, 20% off using the promo code A2D at manscaped.com. But this thing, and Sweeps got me going early because it's been the consensus of the chat, right? It's almost like PTSD. Like I've dealt with it after post games, and then like as soon as I felt like he shifted, I can't. Now I'm on the island. I'm officially on air on an island, and I'm like, and I feel like
once you shift to Greg's side, you're lost.
I had to fucking sell the rest of the night. I don't want to be on here selling. I want guys on board with me. God damn it. Like, I know what my eyes are telling me, and I'm worried. I'm worried about him. Does he have the burst? Does he have the legs? Right? But then I'm like, 21, 10, and 10. The other guy couldn't even shoot. The other guy didn't even attempt the shot. This like, in my used cars man sale, like, this has to be better, right? It has to be better than what we dealt with in the postseason in years past. It has to be. I thought with Tyrese alone, we were better than that loser. Like, I felt with Tyrese run the point that we go to Eastern Conference Finals, even though we were shorthanded with Kerry and Drummond, right? I still felt like, hey, we're just winning basketball games, though. Like, we got a guy who at least attempts it, who wants to get better, right? And then I look at Harden now run the point, and I'm looking at a better distributor than Tyrese, right? Because he's a little more, he's seasoned with it, right? A better distributor and a star where people still, even if he's fucking 2 for 7 from 3, you still better go get a hand up. And the guy we had before, and I'm not trying to go backwards, I'm just trying to talk about what we've seen in the postseason, is a guy who wouldn't even shoot. So our half-court offense was atrocious. I got to think it's better.
Yeah, like, listen, you can, and I know what you're saying. It's like right now we got we got a Honda Accord with like 3 wheels, and before we had a big wheel. So I mean, like, you're right. I mean, like,
not streetworthy. Not streetworthy.
I think my kids with the Accord. Not legal. The big wheel is not street legal.
Flyers give up back-to-back goals in less than a minute to now tie the game 3-3.
Sounds about right.
Stay hot.
Yeah, no, TDP, his numbers he's had like a little bit of a rough stretch here, but his overall numbers this year are what they are. I mean, I hear that, but then like the eyes come in sometimes, and there's some nights like the Milwaukee night. I thought he played tremendous. I thought he was tremendous in that basketball game, right? I couldn't ask for more. I mean, 32, right? Like he was tremendous. Now down the stretch, I know there were some, right? But overall in that basketball game, he was an important reason on why we had a last shot, even though he missed it, to either take the lead or tie the basketball game up, right? So I don't want to take away that night, but there's been some nights where, hey, I mean, I've had like 2 for 9 from threes, right? I've had some bad nights mixed in, and I think those bad nights sit with people, and rightfully so, right? Like I think when your eyes, and we love binoculars here, right? When your eyes are that looking at one guy, right? Because that's what we're doing. We're hunting for everything. So when you have them, they sit with all of us, and then you wonder, like, hey, is he getting a little too old? Like, can he still play at that level? And then there's other nights where it's like, yeah, he can. So my hope is like those nights can come out, but even on the nights where he's not, the guy from 3-4 years ago, right? And Greg, you've coached basketball, right? Like he's making guys around him better with the basketball when he's not forcing the shots off, right? He does make guys better. And this isn't a cop-out. This is just me trying to look at reasons why we can be really good. He's done a really good job of, 1, being unselfish, I think, okay? And 2, really trying to move the basketball. Not just with Joel, with other guys.
No, right? You're absolutely right in that. But that, again, and I kind of go back to, but is that what we traded for, though? You know what I mean? Like, is that the version of James Harden that we're at right now? Like, to me, I don't. That's the James Harden version I don't want.
So what's his?
We already had.
What's his full stat line? Because I want to ask you if we forget the player, just understand like what we gave up and what we got back, and if we would take that in return for what we dished out, right?
22 points, 10 assists, and 8 rebounds.
All right, would we sign up for that though?
But you also have to
forget the player.
At the 11th hour, I guess so, right? But like, you're talking about the money too, right? And the potential money down the road, right? I mean, that's because that's a factor in here, right? You're gonna potentially either max or whatever the rumors are, right? If you're not maxing, maybe you're maxing for 2 years, right? But the type of player he is, we talked about this on Wednesday, you need to max him or get somebody else in here at a max just because you need that placeholder. And at that point, that's where I start to think, like, that's where of course, again, complete bias involved, but that's where, like, I don't know if that's the right guy that you traded for then. You know what I mean? Because he's just a facilitator again, right? His worth, he's just shooting free throws, really, because that's it. I mean, he's getting a lot of it, like tonight, like his points. He doesn't shoot 11 free throws. He doesn't get to the 20 points.
I mean, come on, Tyrone Lue. I mean, who are you, Tyrone Lue?
No,
I mean, come on.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, like, you know, so when you look forward and you go forward outside of this year, what are you getting out of him? Are you getting this, or is this still just lingering from the hamstring? And if that is, then that's fair, right? You know what I mean, kind of like the Achilles and stuff like that, because his burst looks lost at times, but then doesn't look lost at times, right? So is it a little bit of maybe he's still hindering it, right? Maybe he's still maybe it's still hampering him a bit. And next year he's going to be more like the James that that you thought you were trading for, or that you thought, or that envisioned in your mind, right? You know what I mean? Rather than just a point guard, really.
No, listen, I get you. And at the end of the day, I mean, his handling, his ability to almost dribble guys off the dribble and get to where he wants to get to. I'm not going to talk about like what money I'm giving him. I got to hope the guy that the rumors were true, that he's willing to take less for 2 years to get another star in here or upgrade this roster. But like, you're asking me right now if I'm giving him all that money? I don't know. I can't answer that right now because there's so I have to see something right now that's still in front of me. That's why that was my whole argument tonight. Like I can't make this final chapter where Tom will be the first motherfucker on here smoking dudes when the final buzzer goes and this team's not playing anymore. If they don't get to a certain point, I'll be the first guy to say, "Hey, I don't know anymore." Right? But right now, I'm like,
well, that's going to go a long way. Like you said, as you just mentioned, I mean, will he go the, I'm not comparing him, so make sure nobody. It's two different sports, but will he go the Tom Brady route? And take less money to restructure things and get a piece or two in here that we need, because if he's not that scoring threat that he was years ago, all right, but he still draws attention. He still can take people off the dribble, and he still can create for people, right? But that's where you need a knockdown shooter, right? We, in my eyes, we obviously, you guys know it too, right? We need an absolute, knockout shooter, right, to go along with Harden, all right? And we need a junkyard dog, all right? We need a guy that's going to bring some toughness to this team, and muck it up on the defensive end.
And I would love that for being Matisse, but I still feel like he's too young for that too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you have to grow. You can grow in there a little bit more toughness. Yeah, I agree.
Bill. Thanks, brother.
Thanks, brother. Bill, I agree with you, Bill. I really do. And I know we don't agree often, but like I like a gun to my head, like I don't know who I'm taking. Because
it goes both ways, you know what I mean? Like we totally give them respect, you know what I mean? Like you said, we have a good time with Bill and we talk a lot of shit, you know what I mean? But we don't like the Celtics. The Celtics are very good, they don't like us. We're pretty good, all right? But we both, the common denominator is we're both not scared of each other. You know what I mean? Like, give me the Celtics. I don't care. I know they're red hot right now. They don't, what I mean? That's it. They don't do much for me. They got those two guys. They're a good basketball team, and they're absolutely playing out of their mind right now. And they're not scared of us. So it goes both ways. I mean, and apparently nobody's scared of us. So that's good. Let's be the underdog.
Yeah, I'm okay with being overlooked because, they're going to trap Embiid and Harden in the playoffs. Okay. Tyrese Maxey can get to the bucket. Tyrese Maxey is fast. I don't know if I want to be like doubling guys and getting that guy in spots where now he can score the basketball. So it's not like sweeps his line, which I love and I probably use too much. And people are like, oh, you get copyright on that. But like tomato cans, like there's not two other tomato cans playing alongside these guys, right? There just isn't. There's guys who can score the basketball. So it's like everybody says like getting trapped, like okay, and they might. And that's a game where Maxey maybe can go for 28 on you because all right, you're trying to get the ball out of these guys' hands, and he's getting one-on-ones or easy drives to the basket or wide open threes, right? That's where the ball movement comes in, right? You trap a guy and then you go for the extra pass, right? And everybody's willing to make the extra pass. You're going to get a good look. So I don't know how many teams just want to be giving up open threes to Maxey or Tobias, maybe to Matisse, but I don't know how many teams want to just be giving up open threes to those guys or easy lanes at basket. Maybe Tobias because sometimes he never finishes. But in terms of Maxey, like how many times you want to just give him easy lanes to the bucket when he's so good at getting to the bucket and getting off shots? Like, I don't know. I mean, to each their own. So some teams might play that fire, and maybe that fire don't come back and get you. But like if I do that to other teams, do they have that fire? Like Milwaukee does, because if I go trap Middleton or Giannis, right? Hypothetically, hey, that's a Drew good look. That's maybe a Grayson Allen good look. So they have guys who can shoot the basketball. Right now, Miami's more balanced, so you're really not trapping anybody. Right now, you look at because they're just balanced scorers. Right, they got guys who can score from all over, so they're more of not like they're not the star trap. You know, same thing goes for the Nets. Right, like okay, if I trap them, then Seth has to beat me or. Christ, I don't even know. You know what I mean? I don't even know who else is in the starting five. I forget. But I think it goes around. Boston. Okay, then Marcus Smart better beat you or Al Horford better beat you, right? So I think we all are in like a similar boat with the trap game. Like we're all right there. Like, okay, like I'm not saying Marcus Smart can't beat you. Just like I wouldn't say Tyrese Maxey can't beat you. Right? So it's like, all right, we can all play with fire. That's what we always talk about. It ain't all going to be on Joel Embiid to cut the Nets down or get this team to where they want to get to. A big part of it's on him. And then whatever role players we have around him have to step up. And it has nothing to do with money. That has to do with production you've given me and shown me through the regular season, right? And the production I've seen from Tyrese and the production I've seen from Tobias, right? I got to believe that those guys can score enough and be good contributors to this basketball team. The one thing I say about Tobias all the time, I do think he plays really good defense. I think that's going to overlook. Now, I'm not sitting here, you're going to max a guy for defense again, right? That's not what I'm saying. Everybody's going to bring up the money, and I get it. But like he has been more aggressive on the defensive side, and I think at times he's shown me a little bit more aggressiveness around the basket, and has learned to finish a little bit more. But again, you know, not a consistent enough guy.
Yeah. Right now. Hopefully that changes in the playoffs, right? I think
Greg, right? He's had a little stretch where he went for like 28, 26.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's not there. But I think the biggest part, when you talk about him, the last thing I'll say about this when we talk Phillies, when you talk about Embiid and Harden, that dynamic went like this because it was perfect, right? When you talk about a great guard, which, okay, I'm air quoting that, but you guys know.
Yeah, no, we get it.
A great guard and a great big man, that usually is like a good collaboration.
Yep.
Now, those other two guys, and this is why I talk about like the 20 games. I don't know how many games it takes guys to get a feel, right? But those other two guys have to really feel their way around it. And that's how this team can really gel. Once those two guys figure out almost their roles with those two guys, that's when you can have something special.
Well, that's where I think in the playoffs, that's where in the playoffs, if, you know, like Phil says, if they're talking about doubling and trapping those guys, well, then that's where Toby's going to have open looks. That's where Tyrese is going to have open looks. Well, then you got to be able to step up and hit them in the playoffs because Joel's going to be doubled, and who's he going to pass out to? It's going to be Tobias, it's going to be Tyrese because there's always going to be someone around James, especially in the playoffs. You're not going to let James float open, but where you're doubling from is you're doubling from Toby's guy. That's the next biggest guy out there. Toby's guy's doubling and Tyrese, so they're going to be the ones left open.
Yeah, you can go back to, like I said, you can probably go back if you wanted to deep dive Scooter Vertino style and go back to, all the championships, let's say even in the last 15 years, superstars are going to be superstars, you know what I mean? But I guarantee you, I'm willing to tell you that 98% of those teams that won, had monster supporting cast efforts in the finals. Right, you know what I mean.
Things went right for him too, right?
Yeah, you got to be lucky. Absolutely.
Yep. And because there was that interview with Draymond Green, I really liked it with Joel, and Joel was like, "I'm not a winner yet. I don't know what it takes to win." And Draymond's like, "Man, you're a winner. You won a lot of games, right? So you know what it takes to win. you got to understand something. This guy can play with a freaking super team. I feel like he's like, you got to have some things go your way too, right? At the end of the day. So yeah, you got to be talented as shit, but then you need things to go your way. And to your point, Sleeps, you need guys that there's always those guys. Big Shot Bob wasn't a max guy.
Derek Fisher.
I mean, Danny Green. Danny Green. Rewind Danny Green. Like rewind Danny Green is a guy that like used to make big shots.
Absolutely.
He just
Rick
did
Fox, right? I mean, yeah, you can go down the list.
We talked about Bobby Portis from last year. They signed him, and then, kind of put the put the Bucks over the edge. You know what I mean?
Arguably the MVP of that series.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
You're going to give it to Giannis. I get it, but like obviously the MVP of that series because he just brought something, right? He brought effort. He brought a toughness. He brought some things to him that help you get to that point. And listen, through the year, right? They weren't consistently doing that, right? They weren't because they were a team that was finishing one all the time and getting bounced, right? And then all of a sudden last year they finished as a 3-hole, and you're like, oh, everybody's a little like out of Milwaukee, and then boom, right? Boom. So I mean, it's a whole nother game now when we're going here, and we know this because we've been the beast of the East. We've been walking around beast of the East.
And I just said, I just had a crazy thought, like, he is who he is. He is who he is now. But back in those Spurs dynasty, Kawhi was the sneaky guy.
Yeah, he was.
You know what I'm saying? They had the big three. He wasn't part of it. He was
still learning how to shoot.
He was just an absolute stud. But he was a defender. He did all the dirty work. He did, that it was, what I mean. So it just goes to our point. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, and like I said, I think all these guys, can play defense, right? I haven't really seen James like dog it too much defensively. I haven't watched every minute of every game, obviously, but I feel like he's getting hands up. You know what I mean, for the most part. But the other guys are good defenders. I mean, Tyrese is smaller, but he's quick. I mean, if you're quick, you can always play defense, in my opinion. Like if you're quick on the perimeter, like you can always get a hand up. You can always be good enough defensively. Tobias has played better defense, and we know Matisse, gives guys issues. He can give guys some issues because he's lengthy and athletic, and he wants to play defense, right? Like he's a guy who wants to play defense. But can he turn into that kind of guy? Not Kawhi, but can he turn into that 3-and-D guy? Like, could this postseason be like a coming out party per se to you averaging double digits? You guys hear what I'm saying? Like where you hit a couple big threes in a series that go on. Like that's where guys get all the confidence in the world and catapult that for a young player. Same with Tyrese, right? Like Tyrese, could be your, hey, welcome to the NBA type, right? Can this postseason have that kind of impact on the rest of your career? That's all it takes, right? Go off for a series. Go off for 2 series. Or even if you're not going off, you're hitting big shots.
That's how you get paid. That's how you make a name for yourself. And that's how that's how you collect the trophies.
I mean, if James can go, in my opinion, James can go 5 for 17. But if that fifth make is a bucket that give us the lead, that ends up winning the game, etc. I mean, you take them kind of things. So
that's what I alluded to earlier. You know what I mean? Like, I know we all been saying it in a roundabout ways. That's just what I was saying. Listen, I just want winning plays. You're not going to make all the plays, all right? But we just try to make some winning plays. You know what I mean? That's and timely shots. You know what I mean? Like you can, and learn how to live for the next opportunity. You know what I mean? Like if you're having a night like you just said, as he has probably for his majority of the time he's been here, like if you're in a 5 for 17, let number 6 be the game winner.
Yeah, because we talk about when we know the best players are playing, right? We know it in the fourth quarter, and tonight in the fourth quarter, in those stretches, it was Embiid and Harden, right? I mean, they were the best 2 players on the court. Now I get it; it's Cleveland. I understand. But it's still on the road and it's still closing out a basketball game, which is so important because that's what that's the big concern. Do they have enough down the stretch to close out games?
Absolutely.
Real quick, because we got to get out of here. Opening day right around the corner. I know we all love it. What are we thinking? What are we thinking for this Phillies team?
Listen, not spring training, but a lot of things are going their way, and they're playing well. And and the division seems to get a little mucked up. Because Rut Row Cheerio. If you're in Queens, it's a Rut Row Cheerio, because that's exactly what we kind of said a couple weeks ago. Like, hey, listen, made some moves, looked a little scary on paper, but one Tweakzilla away, one arm Tweakzilla away from being in last place. Because you lose those two guys, and night, Steve Cohen, and you can have all the money in the world, my friend. You lose those two monster arms. So sorry, not sorry. All right. So and we'll see. Obviously, the Phillies still got to do it. Noah needs to absolutely have a monster year. We all know that. Everybody's left him for dead. Majority. Once again, it's Philly Nation, but even. Proud to probably say 92. Some of us are still in the 8%. You know what I mean? But there's probably 92% of the Philadelphia area that thinks he's a fucking absolute shitbird. So, it's time. It's time, Aaron. It's time to silence some people and see if you can be that 1A. You know what I mean? There's people that say, you should be a 4 and fucking just release them. You know what I mean? That's how disgusted he makes people. So, for him, for me, he's the X factor. You know what I mean? We know they're going to hit. You know what I mean? You're not going to score 12 runs a game. That's just unrealistic. As juicy as the lineup is, we know that. You know what I mean? The dog days of summer come, and hitting's not easy, and you're going to bats are going to dry up. So, but they got a ton of firepower, and more so than none. That lineup's going to win some. Win a lot of games for you. So we'll see if that pen is improved. On paper it's improved. Let's see if those guys that are at the back end of their career can have pretty good years. Brad Hand and Familia and guys like that. And his what's his Sir Anthony? He's
back.
He's back, and
or he will be at some point.
Yeah,
I don't think
he will be back. I thought he threw the other day. But he might have not have. But at some point, I feel like it's been 2 years. You know what I mean? So that guy's been that guy's electric. So we'll see what he brings on. What he brings, and what you're going to get out of a guy like Kyle Gibson. He's Eflin's huge, but I always circle back to Nola. You know what I mean? If Nola grabs you 20, this team's gonna be scary. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Even 15. I went, 20 is probably a little far, so I say 15. Anywhere from 15 to 20.
Well, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You hit on the head. It's going to come down to pitching, right? I mean, this for the most part. This offense is going to hit, and it's going to keep you engaged. But can you pitch enough? And then subsequently, can you field enough? Right? We don't need to be perfect in the field, but can you field enough? And I think the emergence of guys like Bryson Stott in the spring, help solidify some of those defensive holes that you might have had. I'm encouraged. Hopefully, we're all wrong on Mickey, right? Hopefully, moving that inch towards the plate and wearing Dickies. Hey, maybe we all got to go out and buy some Dickies and get on Team Mickey, right? But he's playing well so far, and he's at least. Him and Bryson have at least earned the spot on opening day on the roster. Who knows if they start? If they do platoon him in center, it probably would, because Frankie Montas is a righty. Yeah, so he would get if they are platooning him, he would get that start.
Yeah, at this stage, I think that's what you got to do. I mean, not only. We know it's spring training, but that's when you work on things. That's when you get your timing down. And the guy looks like he looks like he belongs. So maybe like I said, he was an 18-year-old kid. You know what I mean? So we always expect instant stuff, especially from a number one pick. Because you see the likes of a Harper and guys like that were number one picks. So you always say like, hey, why can't we have that? You know what I mean? So there's a lot, there's a lot comes with that. A lot of pressure comes with that. And, the kid didn't have, especially when you're a hitter, as a pitcher, I think you're more developed. You have a chance because there's only so many bullets in your arm. You know what I mean? So like a young pitcher, have a chance. They get their window to get there quicker. They usually rush them up a little quicker. You know what I mean? Like hitters, you need time to develop. The 3, 4, 5 years. It's almost the same as him going to college. You know what I mean? Now he's coming out as like a college senior. Yeah. in essence. So I don't know what he's going to do, but you might as well let the kid have a full season at it, whether it's in the platoon or not. I think you got to get the kid, 300 at bats, 250 to 300 bats and see what he can do. And,
sure.
and obviously, your peers, that's the beauty of the game is, your teammates see things, not the coaches don't see, but, when the teammates and your buddies see those things, like that's always a great sign. You know what I mean? So for Castellanos to say, hey man, Stott, he looks the part, man. That dude's ready. Nothing bothers him. They're around these guys every day. That's huge for me.
Yeah, and
like more than coach speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't care where you
or just Bryce, right? You're like you always think, Bryce, that's his roommate, right? Bryson's living with Bryce, so you expect Harper to be high on the kid. I mean, that's his babysitter for his kids.
Yeah. But
you're right to hear someone like Castellanos come in and within a week just be like, holy shit, this kid's got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he works his tail off. Like all those kinds of things that you want to hear. And and Mickey looking bigger, Mickey being 23. I don't care I don't care. Most guys, I don't care about them losing baseballs in spring training. But a guy like him who never lost baseballs in spring training, or really period, because he's struggled, it's a great sign. And it's a much needed sign that this baseball team could really use. Right? I mean, we could flat out use him and Stott, like somebody said, batting 8, 9. Like, I mean, that's fun.
Says I'm team 9. Am I not in?
No, you might be then.
Didn't mean to do that to you.
Because I think it's got to reschedule. Oh, trying to find out by him who's not in. We're gonna hit. Hitting is not the problem. I think it's gonna help this rotation out a lot too. Hitting. And the last thing Phillies wise is Sweep's already said it, but you got to be able to find ways to close out games. I think 36 point saves last year. That's atrocious. And you're still 82 and 80 with that. And now you add what you add. You hope you're a better baseball team. I mean, one would assume you're better. So, baseball's a funny one because we'll find out. We'll find out. They look good. They look like a team that can flat out compete for this division, and maybe win it. And
listen, it's got the Embiid feel. The Embiid Harper thing has a similar feel to it. You know what I mean? Like, Mr. Big Money, Mr. Luxury Tax, and then finally when your MVP says, let's go, dude, this is getting ridiculous, and then they, you wonder why it took so long for that to, maybe you could have signed a pitcher too, like, until it was already too late, but at least they, they got the Castellanos thing done, so, I don't want to say they're trying. I think he was forced, so I'm not going to give Middleton any credit. You know what I mean? The fact is, the bottom line is it got done, so, the same way the Sixers were in the 11th hour trying, I know it didn't fit everybody's narrative and I get Greg's argument earlier, you know what I mean? But, what we were dealing with and what the chances and what the choices we had, let's go, you know what I mean? And I know I've been negative too, so we don't need to talk any more Sixers. You know what I mean? I just want to see it. You know what I mean? I guess my point is, as in closing, I'm just going to say, hey, I just want to see it. All right, so shove a pie in my face and get it done. That's all. I'll be happy to eat crow. Yum yum yum.
Listen, no question about that. No question about it. We do. That's why I'm just sitting here like I'm just waiting because I've been saying it through some of the losses, just waiting. People are like, what are you just waiting for, Tom? Well, I'm just waiting to see it. I haven't seen the team play in the postseason. I've seen other teams playing the postseason here. I haven't seen this group together playing the postseason, so I'm intrigued, right? And I can be disappointed very easily. But right now, I'm gonna hold out that last ounce of hope of just hope, and that's Sixers, and similar thing with the Phillies. But I think the Phillies are really good. I think when you have a lineup like this, it puts you in a great spot. So it eases things. So we'll see if these guys come out and hit. And guys know how I feel about spending a ton of money on pitchers because they're just, you lose a pitcher, it's almost like you don't lose positional players as much like that. Yeah. Right? Like you might lose them to like a hammy, some, little things. Listen, guys lose time. I get it. But most time you have a better chance of a pitcher getting hurt than and that injury lasting longer than like a positional player per se. Sure. So, listen, we'll save our crumbs because I know we have to.
Yeah, we gotta go. I gotta because she signed me in, but I think I gotta get the sign in and the password and stuff before she goes to sleep. So, crumbs every week. We're good. It's everybody escaped this week. We gotta go.
Wilson and I gave ours earlier. It was the Flyers.
Yeah,
yeah, I did.
Yeah, clean sleep. Thank you guys all for tuning in tonight.
I love it.
We appreciate you all. Make sure if you haven't hit the like, hit the subscribe, stick around for a while. All right, stay around. We're brought to you by our doc every Sunday. Make them yours if you need them. SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com, Burlington, Cherry Hill locations. Find on the web. SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. We're also brought to you by Manscaped, and you can get 20% off and free shipping with the code A2D at Manscaped.com. It's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life at Manscaped. Make sure you use our promo code A2D and get 20% off and free shipping. We're also brought to you by FanUp. FanUp is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports, daily NBA contests, and more. Win great prizes. Sign up today. Use promo code A2D for 5,000 bonus points. That's a $50 value. FanUp right on the Apple Store. Download it and make sure you use our promo. And two more, fam. Gleason's Bar, located 670 Levittown, PA. Use promo code again. See all the promo codes? Use promo code again, A2D, for 10% off your order whenever you dine in, take out, or online. Gleason's Bar and Steaks.com is where you can find them. And our good friends, my good buddy Sean Klein over at Araya Public Adjusting. Do you have damage to your home or property? We may be able to help. Don't fight your homeowner's insurance alone. Contact our good pals over at Araya Public Adjusting, 813-564-3364, and on all social media platforms as well. For Brian Wilson, no longer with us, Nick Delgazzo, Greg Moniak.
Masters Week, Tiger Woods.
Tiger's back. Don't cry.